that story, she can.
Sounds like a fun story. Sounds like a goofy little time.
I love you too. Oh, I was telling the guys how I almost killed you. I was telling the guys how I almost killed you because I sent you with cold brew coffee instead of normal coffee. Yeah. And cold brew ice cubes. I could taste all the colors of time. It was awesome.
Man,
Holy crap.
I want to
Yeah.
taste the colors of time.
Yeah. I'm nice ish sometimes. I don't lie.
But you're the Lysmith. Eh? Eh?
That's why I just kind of took that beat pause for a moment.
Well, currently he is the Imperial Dogma in the server, but, you know, still. Alright, we're just gonna have a really chill session as I load up Dragon Smasher from Freerin. I don't really have any combat planned, but still. It's just funny. I'll put on like the most epic boss music just for no reason. Alright, so let me turn this down so I can actually hear. My left ear
You know
keeps
what?
getting
I wonder
clogged.
if Hakeem still has PTSD about some of the music I still played when I would do boss battles.
PTSD or just learning from experience, man. Let's call it for what it is, man.
I still have you afraid of ballerinas.
Dude,
I
it's
love
what you did
ballerinas.
to ballerinas.
I did nothing wrong to the ballerina.
I said it's what you. I just said is what you did nothing wrong. I said is what you did with the ballerinas. What
I
you
did
made
nothing
them
wrong.
do.
That's a
Maverick,
perfectly normal thing that ballerinas do. They dance.
yeah, Maverick can
No,
confirm.
they
Maverick can confirm.
no they
Ballerinas just do what
dance.
they do.
They
Eric
dance,
Wolf
but
joined.
no one said anything that the ballerinas had to come for your life or anything like that.
Well, ballerinas are very emotional. It's a very hard craft, so sometimes they have
I
to
get that. I get
cut
that. I get
loose.
that. But that doesn't mean that they were trying to commit crimes of passion against like random strangers.
Well,
We didn't know this ballerina.
ballerinas are a very emotional craft. You have to be very calm and collected the entire time. So, you know, sometimes they lash
Raven,
out. It's like the animatronics get quirky at night.
Raven. I want to remind you that like I don't remember if you remember that fake core session that
No,
we had.
that's what I was saying. I
And
was saying Maverick can confirm ballerinas just get a little quirky sometimes.
quirky.
Yeah, she was just a little quirky to him. It's fine. Maverick was only tied up and chained and drained of water for a couple days. He's fine. Not the worst thing he's been through.
I mean, if you call, if quirky is in the thesaurus for murderers,
I
then sure.
believe we need to start using silly language and stop doing anti-silly language like schizophrenic or crazy or murderer. You know, they're just being a little silly.
No. We have to use serious language.
Nah, we
Serious.
use silly language in this household. Guys, I'm just
I
being
mean, we're only
silly,
using
sir.
serious languages for Sirius XM, though.
Yeah. Oh my god. Alright, now that everyone's here, I can start running up the session. Alright, so for the recap, everyone here, from my understanding, so last time, or the last two sessions, I'm just gonna say, Makeem, you would have probably gotten a letter, some updates from Jin's pigeon, Mr. Pidgey. Or I just added a Mr. out of respect for Pidgey. He has a lad, so you would have probably been getting little letters over time, just kind of little updates. So we're starting off this session, kind of giving you a little rundown of what's been happening. So the first session that you missed, the party had to disembark from the boat into little canoes and make it to a little village to try to find some maps and cartographers to try to find the way to the main city that Narza is from. Hold on, I have to pull up my notes real quick. Because we haven't made it there yet, so I don't have it like up real quick. Already practice. Here we go. So basically, you guys are trying to get to the city, and over that little time frame, the party found this orc named Udabrosk. He's a druid, and
Druid.
yeah, he's a druid.
Yes.
He's more of a shaman, but he's kind of a mixture of a druid and a shaman. Unfortunately, you weren't there, but fortunately at the same time, it kind of balanced it out. I was planning on having you recognize some of the tropes with him, but think of Don Juan, who always spoke a little weird. He'd always be like, the universe agrees, or like that. So, Udabrosk, anytime he tried to say something, he just kind of smoke a pipe and look at a tree, and it says the trees agree when the leaves would rustle. So it's been really fun running him. But basically,
Yeah. And
Udabrosk-
Ari's unhappy because she keeps getting drugged tea.
yes. Everyone's been having to drug themselves on basically ayahuasca.
Okay, 1 second.
Jin had a blast. Okay, Jin was able to just freaking hit the ayahuasca and speedrun these trials. It was great. But the first trial, you had to do some stuff, and they got little marks on their hands. And then the second trial, which was last session, they had to do the trial of fault. This is all stuff you would have probably gotten kind of briefly in letters and like just kind of communication. So
We
trial
fought a
of
giant
fault.
turtle.
Yes, a giant dragon turtle. Fun fact, creature rating 18. Was very surprised everyone survived that very easily, but you know, whatever.
My Echo suicide bombed it.
I
Yeah.
suicide bombed it.
Yeah, Ari's a freaking menace when she tries to be a freaking menace. That's great. I love it.
He goes goblin mode.
Oh, Ari, would you like to explain the important stuff that happened for you in those sessions? Very, very important.
Oh God, they keep trying to ask the artificer to nature
Well, that too, yeah.
and all my minions.
Yes, Ari is officially called Big Tall Tall Smart Goblin. Excuse me. You only have two titles. You're tall and you're smart. You're the tall smart goblin. So Ari has a bunch of little goblins running around her as little minions that have been just gathering her random shit on the
I
island.
have the minions.
So anytime like you guys need to set up camp, Ari's able to just be like, minions, assemble. And they'll start making
Yeah,
little.
just like go.
And then
Just like
whenever we
goes.
leave, she looks at them and goes, "Minions, disassemble."
And
She
do not
ba-
forget about Moni McMonerson,
Yes.
the sexual deviant fish.
I was gonna get
And
to
also,
that.
you're so lucky.
What
You are so
what about-
lucky that
what
when I
happened-
smacked you, that didn't
happened?
actually happen.
What were you saying,
But
Narza?
what happened to the what happened to the sentient doll?
Oh,
Oh,
you're
God.
talking about Whiskey? Oh, Whiskey's just been chilling. He hasn't been doing much. He's just been chilling with freaking Jin the entire time. He's just been vibing. If you were to ever look for Whiskey, all he's doing is down on bottles of whiskey because Jin's just a freaking walking brewery.
Pretty much.
Like, you could literally ask Jin for anything, and he could probably whip up any freaking cocktail in like 30 seconds. Listen, every soldier knows how to disassemble their gun in 30 seconds, okay? Jin knows how to whip up any cocktail in 30 seconds, okay? I think it's an equal skill.
Can't confirm being in the military does make you an alcoholic for a little bit.
Only a little
It's
bit
not
if you're a
forever.
A
quitter.
little bit.
Only a little bit if you're a quitter, right?
A little bit forever.
Yeah. Alright, so yeah, basically, we're starting off the session with the trial having finished, and you guys have been kind of able to relax a little bit. Swain stopped vomiting, finally. As per usual, Swain is vomiting. And he's been able to kind of relax, been able to just kind of chill with Torden and Jin, and just kind of not really say much, but been able to chill. And that's when you'd be able to get kind of a probably a letter from Pidgey, and then kind of rendezvous up at the trial of the fall. So, Mikim, you'd be showing up right around now, just kind of like able to chill, kind of get your bearings, ask any questions, or figure out anything you need to know. And Udabrosk is just kind of chilling next to Swain as well. Always hitting his long pipe of leaves. So, is there anything y'all want to do at camp before we kind of move forward? Or just kind of chit-chat or do something?
I mean, I'm good.
Alright. Just wanted to... I always like to give everyone, like, a couple minutes at the start of the session in case they have anything they wanted to do or remembered that they didn't end up doing last session.
I think the only thing that I wanted was if any of the turtle shell, if we could grab a chunk of it, but I think it was in a dream, so I don't think we actually were able to.
It was in a it was, from your understanding, it was basically a dream.
Okay.
You guys could tell that it was kind of a weird space and the kind of astral. You guys were kind of in a different point in time, but you were in the same location. It was really wonky. Nothing that you did over there technically, from your understanding, would affect the world at this point. So you guys didn't get to bring anything. The only thing that there was Moni McMonerson's letter that crossed space and time in Jin's bag because they're star-crossed lovers, or at least on one side of star-crossed lover.
Breaking pufferfish.
That pufferfish Ari tried so hard to kill at the end of the session. It was so funny.
Yeah. And for some reason, Jin stopped me.
It was true
was a
love.
And I smacked him with my sword.
It was a sentient, loving creature that had consensual relations with many of the treants.
My ears did not consent to that racket. Goblins have big ears. They have sensitive ears. I did not consent to hearing that.
The fact Tornin, the first person to have heard it, it was like Tornin don't like vibrations because it was speaking Aquan.
That was absolutely horrible.
Horrible.
It was great.
God, no, it was not.
I love that so much. Alright, so as you guys have had a little bit of time in the session to kind of chill, set up, Udabrosk kind of pulls out a little piece of parchment, and he starts kind of looking at the trees and starts making kind of little squiggles on it. Kind of drawing up like a custom map, like a cartographer would. Just without any of the tools. So, Swain's kind of just, looking over it, just kind of putting his swords into the ground and kind of putting his hands on top of it, just kind of looking at the map. And it looks like he's kind of actually interested in it, but he's not really saying anything. But they're just kind of chilling, and you see the map just kind of being squiggled up right now. Udabrosk is kind of like crushing up little seashells and like kind of squidding sacks, and it's kind of making custom little paints kind of along with it. And he keeps kind of, muttering to his side and sending out little wolves of like branches and stuff to go grab him little ingredients. He's kind of just handling everything himself this time to take y'all to the trial, or at least it's kind of what it looks like. So, over the next couple hours, Udabrosk is kind of building up this map for you guys. He asks you guys occasionally for some little ingredients, like some specific leaves that he'll specifically ask Tornin for a little bit of help with, or Jin. Y'all kind of get the gist that they're for mental support when it comes to making this map, if you catch my drift. You'll also be asking Jin to demonstrate his skills with his arsenal for religious ceremony reasons.
No.
So, over the next 3 hours, Udabras is just, getting drunk and getting high while he's making this map. And by nightfall, he kind of sobers up and he just says, "It is done." And would anyone like to look at the map?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So as everyone kind of walks over to the map, you see a very oddly detailed yet very smudged together map, kind of like one of those really cheesy X marks the spot kind of pirate maps you would see in a cartoon. Completely not professional cartography, but you guys kind of look at it and get the feeling it's enchanted. And who here would have like the highest arcana out of curiosity?
Moment.
I was gonna say I only have a +1.
Let me see here.
Because I think it would either be Ari or Tornin.
I have a 2 in Arcana.
I'm in the lead.
All right. So as
I have
every-
a 3.
I have a +3 in Arcana as well.
All right. So Narza and Tornin are kind of looking over the map, and you guys are the ones who are able to kind of understand it the best. It looks like when you guys are holding it, or touching it at least, you know the little symbols you've been getting on your hands, right? Little tattoos.
Yeah.
They start to kind of glow and resonate, but specifically more so with the two of you, Narza and Tornin, because you guys have the highest arcana, so you guys are able to kind of connect with it a little bit easier and see that the map kind of shifts a little bit easier. It looks like you get a little X marker for your party and the map, and by using the little tattoos on your hands, it's kind of connecting you to some, at least magic connected to the island to kind of show you to where you need to go for the fall trial. It kind of gives you the gist that this is what Udabras has been kind of helping y'all to do. As, he did mention, he's going to help you teach you and show you the way to the city, but, you're slowly unlocking more tools to get to the city is basically the point of this map. Is he kind of helped craft it for you. And now you guys can start heading over to the trial, and instead of having Udabras lead the way, he'll still accompany you. He's just kind of like, pointing it to you and showing you. He's still going to accompany.
Question.
Yeah, what's up?
There's 4 seasons, right?
Yeah, there's 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we did I think we did.
Yeah, you did spring and then
see it.
summer, and now you're doing fall. And then after fall, you get led to the city. Udabras is just kind of like, nodding.
If you think about it, if you start in spring, you have 3 transitions. Spring to summer, summer to fall, fall to winter. So there's only 3 changeovers.
Okay.
I will say though, you're actually kind of on the right track. I'm sorry, both of you are. Udabras kind of looks at you and kind of smiles, and he says, "Well, you're both kind of half right." And he kind of points at the map, and he says, "The main city is in the Fall Island for one, and that's the main point you're trying to get to is the city. You aren't trying to finish all of the trials, for one." And he kind of strokes his beard a little bit and kind of takes another smoke. And he's actually kind of happy that you noticed this. Because he's been kind of alluding to it, but not really too much. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. But as he kind of points to the map, you notice a very kind of open section towards the north part. Kind of towards the center of the island. It kind of looks a little bit like the island, but kind of like a very short snapshot, if that makes sense. Kind of a localized map, not an entire island-wide map. So this map is only to the fall trial, specifically. So that's where it's kind of centered and positioned. But he kind of smiles and he nods to that fact, and he goes, "Since all you're trying to do is get to the fall city, there isn't too much of a problem. But there's also a lot of problems with the winter trial specifically. And he kind of looks at, the island itself, and you guys have seen little fall bits. If you look over a river, or if Pidgey's, flying overhead, the island's pretty split up, but, there's a lot of biome blending just across a river. Because you guys only walked over a small river, and you went from spring to fall, or spring to summer. And now you're just going to go over a little couple miles, and then go into the fall area. It's just kind of what you're seeing from the map, and he's explaining. And he looks at you, Narzo, and he just kind of smiles again, saying, Narzo, there's been a lot of problems with the winter trial specifically. As you would know, as a resident that was here about a decade ago, or 5 years, however long for you, you know that Lord has been causing a lot of problems in the northern region, which resides with the winter trial. So, he's basically just kind of explaining that the winter trial is kind of not lost per se, but is at least very difficult to get to because of Frelnor's influence.
Gotcha.
So, overall, the only ones you need to do are the first 3 to get to the main fall city, but, what's stopping you from doing the winter trial eventually? Is kind of his vibe,
Right.
what he's kind of
Right.
smirking.
That makes sense. So, as you guys are kind of looking at the map, you guys kind of ascertain it's about a 3-hour walk with all your supplies and stuff. But you do have some assisted hired help, or hired quote unquote help. Aria, Unibras just kind of looks at you and kind of smirks and kind of points to your camp equipment and looks at your little minions. He doesn't say anything, but he's just kind of alluding to the quick camp feature sort of kind of vibe. So he says it would normally take about a 3-hour time to set up, getting the camp picked up and, walking over to the trial, and, it is about, I think I said it was about like noon last time, so I think right now you guys slept, so it's about 8 in the morning right now. So actually, you guys would have plenty of time to make the trial today. I didn't know if I needed to make you guys sleep again. Yeah, no, okay.
I mean, we were technically just unconscious, so
yeah,
would
sure.
we be considered rested now?
Yeah, you guys would be perfectly rested. The only person who wasn't
Okay.
rested is Swain, because for some reason he got cooked from the shit that happened to him in the
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, y'all don't really know what happened. He doesn't really say much. He's just kind of like got a lot of burn wounds right now, because steam does a lot of damage and a lot of heat. So
Definitely needs to stay away from the tea around these parts.
yeah, Swain doesn't handle his tea very well.
Yeah.
That's an even funnier pun, because there was an entire drug ring that was selling tea for the first island, so it's even funnier. So Swain's just kind of chilling, kind of nursing his wounds, but he's chilling, and he's kind of helping set up or pack up the camp. So it only takes you guys about like 15 minutes to kind of pick up your stuff. Normally it would take you guys about like an hour and a half, but with all the hired help of your minions, you're able to just command them to do goblin-y things. One little expected goblin kind of runs up to you and says, "Tall goblin, wise goblin, might I have raise?"
What?
You just see a little goblin just holding up a small like goblet of just copper garbage. It just wants a raise. He wants a raise from 1 shemekel to 2 shemekels a month for some fucking dumb currency. You're
Well,
able to successfully convince them of very low quality currency being a lot because they don't make a lot on this island.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Can I just, in general, consult with my minions and see if they've heard any news or if there's anything interesting going on that they know of?
When you talk to all your little minions, they haven't found out too much of interest, but
Mm-hmm.
they have heard a little bit of news. There are people, coming in and out of the Fall City where you're trying to get to, but most of them kind of get lost. It's more of a they kind of wander out situation. So as the news of your goblin horde keeps growing, because just goblins multiply very quickly. So if you have 3 goblins, it's quick to get like 10 or 20 goblins kind of running around together.
Chicken math.
Yeah. So
Okay.
your horde's growing. What's up?
Yeah. The ones that brought me like actual news, I want to give each of them a gold coin.
All right.
And I'll give the other ones some copper.
All right. The ones that have been bringing good information.
Yeah. Good information gets bigger rewards.
So they're smiling. One of the goblins, he doesn't have a name. Most of the goblins, and none of the goblins have names. They're just goblins. But one of them that's been bringing you quite a.
They have names, but none of the common language people can pronounce it.
They're all kind of weird goblinish names that they're kind of they're used to. Most people wouldn't be able to identify, and they're not worthy enough to really be remembered.
The name involves like 3 grunts and an ear twitch or something.
Yeah, basically. But one of the more prominent goblins in your horde kind of runs up to you and kind of smiles after getting the gold coin and starts to kind of explain a little bit of what they found. And he goes, "How wise, tall goblin. I appreciate the wealth and the shinies. So, allow me to bring you knowledge. It appears that some folks are fleeing from the Fall City, and it appears that once they leave, the islands are moving a lot faster. It's very magical, very confusing for my goblin mind, but you are wise, goblin. You might be able to figure things out. After all, you appear to be looking for the city." This goblin seems a little smarter than the rest, but still isn't,
Definitely.
the smartest.
He definitely does.
Yeah, he is smart-ish goblin. This is what he calls himself. He appears to have, brought in a couple goblins himself and is slowly rising in the ranks. He is la smartish. Smartish.
Yeah.
Smartish.
Well, there, you gave him a name now.
Yeah. He's gonna start calling himself la smartish.
Okay. Good news to hear, not good news for us, but good news to hear.
La smartish just kind of nods.
I hand him an extra coin.
Shiny. Me like shiny. Thank you. Tall, smart goblin.
All goblins like shinies.
All goblin like shiny. And then it's kind of like bows, like it's a prayer. Like a cultural. It's like the dwarves screaming rock and stone.
Yep. I pretty much tell them to just keep their ears open and tell me anything else they hear.
All right.
But to go about their business.
All right. The goblins just kind of scurry off and go do what they're doing, but some of the more brawny goblins start kind of loading up your packs and stuff on their back. So you guys get to walk without carrying your shit for once. Congratulations.
You're welcome.
Just walk.
I just really want to see whichever one picked up my bag now.
I mean, Torden has to carry me though.
Yeah, no. You're
tall goblin.
Torden's job is to carry Ari. That's it. That's all his job is.
Yep.
Torden, you have a personal squadron of 3, kind of slightly taller goblins. A goblin's about what, like 2 to 3 feet tall.
3.5.
3.5. All right.
3.5. Put them at the tall end.
So this goblin, your squadron of 3 goblins are kind of the brawny goblins. Okay, they're about 3.75 feet. Okay, there's an extra inch or 2. And you know they're like kind of the strong goblins. They're Ari's little guard squad, and they're holding Torden stuff. You know, like how coffin bearers will hold like 4 people, 2 on each side. Carrying shit. That's basically what they're doing with Torden's bag.
Pallbearers. Yeah.
Yeah, pallbearers. And it's just basically Torden's food and basic spare shit. It's not even anything crazy.
I totally show them how to put a pole between their shoulders and put the bag on that so they can split the load.
Their minds are blown by just basic physics. They just look up at you and they're like, "Tall, smart goblin is amazing." So you guys are able to easily make it over. The walk would normally take about 3 hours carrying supplies, but since you guys got a little conga line train, you guys are easily able to get there in about half that time. Basically just flavor at this point, but yeah.
Fast travel.
Yeah, fast travel with goblins. You just hear the goblins saying, "Hut to, hut to, hut to," in goblin or whatever.
Which is more like hut to in common.
Yeah.
That's all they're doing is just mimicking Jin as he walks around. Got it.
Yeah. So
they're drinking and smoking excessively?
No, they're smoking excessively. I think Ari would beat them with a stick if they were drinking on the job.
Yep.
Yeah. Smoking's okay, because smoking
stick.
just, does it. But they're too scared to anger Tall Smart Goblin, because Tall Smart Goblin has tall, brawny badass with hammer that could punt any goblin. So they don't piss off Tall Smart Goblin.
I feel like as we're marching, I just try to give him a flask every once in a while. Unconsciously, I just hand it after I take a sip. I always feel weird when they don't take it because they cower your fear from it.
Dude,
okay,
that is
I'm going
so
to
real.
gesture. I am going to tap on Torden's shoulder and gesture over to him. Lean over and smack him. For all the good it will do, I'm still gonna smack him.
Smack who? Jin or the goblin?
You got 50 pounds of brawny muscle swatting you in annoyance.
So does that do 1d1 damage?
Not even.
Not even.
It's an unarmed attack. It's a 1d4.
It's 1d1. It's like when you reach over the table and your hand gets smacked by somebody.
Oh, 100%.
Pretty much. Except I don't even have the weight behind it to make it that effective.
That's
It's more teasing damage than anything.
1 point of emotional damage.
It's literally like getting swatted with a plushie or a pillow. At best it's like thump. What was that for?
1 point of
Except
your
he
father's
knows what that was
disappointed
for.
at you.
Yes.
That reminds me of being at work one time. This guy passed me, and he's like, "How are you doing?" And I'm like, "Good. How are you doing, sir?" He's like, "Good. What you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I just have to watch all these trucks." And he's like, "All right, man. Have a good rest of your day." And he's like, "Oh, by the way, would you like a hit?" And tries to pass me the blunt. And I just looked at him, and I'm like, "Sir, I would love to, but I'm at work right now." And he's like, "Shit, you're right. I did just ask you."
God.
And I'm like,
Chill as heck.
bro was just trying. Dude, I passed the vibe check so hard, dude forgot I was working. He's like, "Yeah, man, you're a really cool security guard. You want to hit?" I'm like, "I'm at work. I can't do that." And he's like, "Fuck, right. Okay, yeah, my bad. Sorry. You have a good rest of your day, man." Sorry, that's just the vibe that I was getting with frickin' Jin, trying to pass the flash at the goblin.
Pretty much. But the worst part about it is it's like unconscious. Like I'm drinking as I'm walking, and I just unconsciously go to hand it to whoever's next to me, and it just happens to be the goblin every time.
Yeah.
And every time he roars in fear, I'm just like, huh. And I take another swig.
Bro, Jin's the epitome of that one meme where it says, "Listen, you don't want me driving sober, because then I'm anxious."
Sobriety is the key to defeat.
Exactly. If you try hard enough, you're fine. Alright, so
Oh god.
you guys show up to the camp area, and you notice after you cross the river, a lot of the leaves are very red and orange, like a nice autumn. And it's always a little bit kind of shocking to most people, especially the goblins. Even though they live there, they mostly chill in their little respective communities of, a couple goblins, stealing stuff or, peddling random garbage to children, typical goblin activity. So, most of the goblins are like, leaf change! Leaf change! It's still spring! We leaf change! Clearly the goblins don't travel much, but,
I mean, they're moving up in the world now.
yeah. They're moving up. They're slowly getting assimilated into the crew.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys cross over the river, and Udabras is just, taking another hit of his pipe, like, oh, you're making good time. Good time. And, kind of gives Torden and Nartha, good pat on the back, a nice, rough, back pat, because he's a half orc, so Torden doesn't really feel much, but Nartha, you get the wind knocked out of you a little bit because
Okay.
he's like twice your size, but he's just kind of laughing and just kind of pointing of like, oh, make this turn, this is faster, and kind of helps you.
I kind of hold on for dear life.
Yeah. You're perfectly fine, and he just kind of gives you like a shoulder tap, like tries to be gentle with your small frame and tries to give you the same energy or just like a friendly tap on the shoulder, but he sees the height difference does not conduce stability.
No.
So once you guys set up to the camp, you see him just kind of look at a tree and, kind of pull off one of the branches and makes a couple wolves to help clear out the area. Just, scare off the wildlife that, would be chilling there, but, not hurt anything. Just so the trial area can be prepared, So, you guys are able to set up the camp pretty easily, and you see Udabras kind of start scribbling down his notes again. The typical procedure that, would probably induce Ari into fear as he starts pulling out the cauldron.
Oh no, not again.
At this point,
I
it's
get
just
this
like
look of
clockwork.
dread. I get a look of dread.
Udabras is just smirking the entire time at this point. Because he starts to really like the party at this point. He hasn't spent too much time with y'all, but he's a recluse. He doesn't really hang around much people, so it's kind of nice for him. So he's cackling as he's, slowly, writing up the list and is like, Torden, can you find these ingredients for me with Narsa?
And Jordan just nods.
All right. So he hands you
Ari
both a
sits
piece
down
of
and
paper.
starts writing out her last will and testament. She's convinced she's gonna die at this point, like overdose or something. She's convinced. Leaves Smartiche, all of her bigger shinies.
Oh my god, that's freaking funny. I love that.
Torden gets her tools. Starts writing an instruction manual for how to repair his prosthetic.
Oh, I freaking love this. So, Udabras finishes up writing up the notes. He looks over at Jen and he's like,
Jin, can you start boiling the water? I'm sure you're quite adept at brewing teas and other concoctions, and just gives you a little pat on the shoulder.
And I instinctively pull out a cocktail shaker and and then I look around and I grab the pot and put it on.
He hands you a list of instructions. It's basically, whenever Torten comes back with X ingredient, put it in or whatever. So instead of Udabras doing all this himself this time, he's having you guys, do it to make it, one, faster, and also, two, he kind of trusts you guys a little more not to fuck up the concoction. Plus, also, you'll trust him a little bit more than if he were to just, be like, hey, put all this shit together
Except
for yourself.
Ari.
Except Ari, but, that's to be expected. Not everyone's going to enjoy it.
Artificers do not nature.
Udabras just takes great pleasure in watching artificers struggle with this kind of stuff, so he's just smirking and having a blast.
Of course he is. Of course he is.
He's a tree hippie at heart. He's a vegan.
Oh, God.
Well, okay, not a
And
vegan, a vegetarian.
Probably
Excuse me, a
not
vegetarian.
on a vegan.
Excuse me, a
Ari has
vegetarian.
pointy sharp teeth. She would totally not on a vegan consider them a food source. So
That's where our favorite vegan went.
Nah, Kale's just chilling on the boat. Or actually, no, wait, didn't I say that Kale is actually tagging along?
You said he wasn't.
Oh, right, I was saying
Because
he
we
wouldn't because he'd be
trust
too
him
OP.
around drugs.
No, well, that, and also he'd be too busted. He'd auto-clear all the trials for you. He'd just walk
That's
in
true.
and auto-do it. Like, the goddesses would, praise him for his veganism.
oh, God. I mean, goblins are more carnivorous. Pointy sharp teeth, carnivore. That's in Ari's nature.
Don't worry, Udabras has no problems with people eating meat, though. That's the difference. Is he understands it's a cycle of life. He just prefers not to eat the meat unless he comes of a natural way. He prefers just eating the vegetables, but if there's an animal about to die, he's perfectly fine, killing an animal and eating it, for ritualistic points, or, if he needs, the nutrition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not a mean tree hippie. He's one of the chill ones. He just does a lot of drugs. So
yeah, he does.
So, as you guys kind of finish up getting the ingredients, over about an hour and a half, you guys just kind of, wander around, pick your herbs, prepare the cauldrons, prepare your wells. The goblins are setting up camp and just, looking in awe at a tall goblin, easily ascending and descending amazing height status. Because, you're not on Torten's shoulders 24/7, so, they're very shocked at your capabilities of mounting and demounting your glorious steed. Just to the effortless capabilities that, someone could be so powerful that, a glorious steed like that would mount you on him himself, because, Torten's just, picking you up occasionally to help you,
I was gonna say, you paused at an awkward point when you said mount you.
No. So, they just...
Way to make it
I
awkward there.
I worded that wrong. I was trying to
Or
say,
did you word it
Did
right?
you word that wrong or really right?
Yes.
Yes.
the accidental nature made it 100 times better. I fucking love that.
I mean, that's why I'm cracking up over here. Like, dude, we're not going there in the game.
Nah, not this session at least.
Fade to black. Fade to black. Wait, what?
Last session maybe not.
Little goblin hand reaches over, pulls a string, curtain falls.
So
Big
Hand
Goliath's
sticks
still
out,
available
flips
because it only
skin
covers
off.
his head to shoulder. But other than that, she's completely hidden.
yeah. So as you guys are able to kind of chill out and have the cauldron brewing, it starts to kind of get to midday. It's about 1 to 2 in the afternoon now. You guys had your walk, you guys set up camp.
everything's really mellow now, and Udabras is kind of leaning back on a stump that he's prepared for himself to sit on. He likes sitting on stumps and just whittling and smoking stuff while stuff's like cooking. You guys are able to actually kind of look around the environment now. You notice that you're getting pretty close to like this kind of mountainous area with a lot of trees, like very large, kind of like maples and other trees like that.
Boy.
Like really pretty thick trees. So this area looks like it's very old in comparison to the other trees, because a lot of the other trees were a lot more your typical jungles, your kind of birches and oaks, some of the other ones that are still pretty long lived, but not as themed of fall, basically. Okay. I don't know, I'm trying to name off all the tree types I know. However, distinctly you don't notice any of the redwoods. Just a point of that. Those are specifically kind of around Narza's home. So you guys haven't seen any redwoods yet, but you guys know that you're kind of getting kind of closer to the city, just from kind of the nature environment. And Narza would kind of start noticing kind of the fall tree kind of areas, but not anything specifically to his area. Just basically saying you guys are getting pretty close, but not close yet at the same time, if that makes sense. I'm rambling and saying this poorly. This is why we do not mix ADHD and nicotine. This is not a good combination. Because I will ramble. I just put in a 12 milligram nicotine pouch. I think that was a mistake.
I think that was a perfect idea.
Alright.
That's like you drinking coffee for a D&D game. Something's always going to go poorly.
I do 3 of these at once. Sometimes, okay? I'm gonna go grab some water. Give me a second. This is a bad idea. I need some water. Sorry.
Oh, Jen, just so you know, I used to have coffee before playing D&D, and it was noticeable that if I started drinking coffee before a game, the difficulty of everything would just increase exponentially.
Generally.
Yeah. Like
I'm not sure if
that
you ever had
became,
my
like,
cold brew, but evidently it was just we're all gonna die.
Yeah,
Alright.
not entirely sure you weren't trying to kill me.
Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. Let's grab some water.
But did you die?
No, I didn't. Not yet. Trying to.
Not yet.
Oh, you're talking about Ari. I'm goofy. Sorry.
Oh no, we were talking about how when I would have coffee before a D&D game, bad things happened. It was very fun for me.
I love untreated ADHD. It's great. Because they wouldn't say yes or no. They're like, oh, you're right on the line. Anyway. Where was I? Right. I was describing the environment. So, you guys notice some mountainous areas. It's the fall. And you notice a lot of kind of like the red maple trees. Hold on. You get this kind of vibe, okay? Not this specifically with, a little walkway. But, you're getting that kind of vibe with the orange and the red and some of the other stuff kind of going on. It's a very relaxed scenery. A lot more relaxed than most of the other areas. Because, like, in the spring, you guys were kind of in a jungle-ish area with a lot of, flora and fauna that was, kind of prospering. A lot of weird snakes and shit. I didn't describe that too much in the first session when we were doing the spring one, but that was kind of the environment. So it wasn't too pretty, but it was still pretty. You did see some cherry blossoms and stuff at some point, but as the seasons are kind of changing between the islands, the closer you get to where you're supposed to go, it's been kind of the ambiance has changed to a more relaxed, which is kind of different from most of the islands you guys would have gone to previously. So, just a little bit of, background descriptions on that. So, as you kind of settle in, it's about 3 in the afternoon. So, it's not going dark yet, but when that kind of in-between state where it's like going from fall into winter, where the nights start to kind of happen a lot sooner versus like the other. Due to the way the magic on this island kind of works, it works in the way the sun works for the seasons. It kind of like artificially causes that to happen at like the way the year would work. So in the winter, you're almost in permanite versus the fall island where you still have a good chunk of daylight, but also it goes pretty nighttime pretty quickly. The ADHD way I describe that. Oh my god. This is why I call this the draft. So as it starts to kind of get to about 3:30ish, the sun starts to kind of get ready to start going down, and Udabras kind of takes a hit of his pipe, and he says, It's almost time for the trial. We want to do this one specifically around a certain time frame to promote the magic, whatever. Basically said the ambiance. Oh, let me read this real quick. Sorry, I just was responding to that. So the cauldron's been brewing for quite a while for this one, and as it gets to right around dusk, Udabras kind of starts pulling out the bowls that he's always given everyone, and this time he's got them little names in it. He carves Jin into the one he gives Jin, and he gives Narza one that's specially marked as Narza, and then he gives like a little redwood tree on that one. Just kind of decorated them a little bit. That's what he was kind of whittling earlier. So he passes it around to all of them, and he gives McKeem a little one as well. All he just writes down is McKeem with a question mark because you guys haven't been able to really talk at all. But he respects you. He's heard that you're the leader of the group. So after that,
I down mine.
Oh god!
Boom.
Before he even is able to describe anything, Jin just chugs his. All right.
Yep.
And
I'm just like, here we go. Oof. And then I follow it up with a hit of my flask.
Udabras is just like rubbing his temples, like, okay, did not expect that. You just kind of like lean back and are just like completely out of it after about like 3 minutes. It takes you about 3 to 5 minutes for this to actually hit you, which is shocking to him, because most people it hits in about 10 to 20 seconds. So as he's just like rubbing his temples, just waiting for you to pass out, you're just like thumbs up in the air, like, bro, another hit, please.
Yeah. Thank you. I'll have another, my lord.
Udabras just like pours you another ladleful and just says, fuck it, whatever. Maybe this will help with the trial. So,
and I downed that one as well.
Alright, you're officially knocked out. And he goes, now that the alcoholic's covered.
Yeah, I'm going to have a look of horror. This is an ongoing theme. Like my ears are drooping, and I'm just looking like, do I really have to do this again?
Udabras just nods and he goes, "One more time, little one. One more time."
Yeah, she sighs, rolls her eyes, and takes a little cup.
All right. So Jin's completely knocked out. Ari just kind of slumps into the bag after taking like a small gulp. Narza, are you doing it? All right.
Yep.
All right. Narza's swallowing it and chilling. Jordan and McKeem, you're up, but Swain just looks at it, takes a deep breath, and he says, "God damn it," and just chugs his before he just kind of leans back and starts vomiting again. It starts seizing out again.
Jordan's just gonna chuck on him really fast before he drinks his, just to make sure he's not gonna like die. Kind of like puts him in the recovery position, just kind of like make sure he's not overtly in danger.
Yeah, you set Swain on his side like you do for a heroin overdose, to get so he doesn't choke on his vomit type shit. And just give him a little pat on the shoulder. Swain just like little thumbs up as he's a little bit conscious and just passes out.
Jordan being dad again.
Yeah.
And then Jordan is waiting for somebody to say, or is still waiting to be told to drink it, which is kind of funny because he can't hear.
You see Udabras like trying to like do like a really ancient sign language, but it's not really going through. So he just starts kind of like pointing at cup and like kind of gesturing to drink.
That's when he like nudges Akeem and goes like, "Drink the tea," and drinks it.
All right, so McKeem, do you have anything to say about the tea, or are you just like following along because everyone else has been doing it?
Wait a minute. Is this the tea that's been knocking everybody out and stuff like that?
This is the ayahuasca stuff that takes you into the trial.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, this is based on real life stuff, right? That you told me about?
I'm just calling it like ayahuasca. It's basically the stuff that they've been taking these past couple sessions to go into the trial. So that's all it is. I'm calling it ayahuasca. Basically, it's not. It's basically you know the spiritual stuff. It's basically just to kind of put you in the higher state.
I mean, there was something similar in a book I read, and they called it Dreamleaf. So
yeah, it's basically
there. It has a name. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like it sounds like some stuff that's certain tribes drink and stuff to like get in a higher state of mind. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's get it.
All right.
Bottoms up.
Supposedly, it tastes like kratom.
Oh,
it would.
God.
Oh God,
Gross.
that would be terrible. Ugh.
Ugh.
God, I hate the taste of kratom. Effective.
Yeah.
But it tastes terrible.
I rely on it, but
Yeah.
oh my God, it's so gross. Ugh.
I figured the best way to approach that is to close your nose.
Oh, sorry. As you guys, knock this back, we're cutting over to, because it's been a couple minutes as you guys slowly, go down one by one. Jin, you get in there pretty early, and you're looking around, you get that kind of same feeling that, your body's a little bit weird, it's lighter, but heavy at the same time. But it's a little bit more connected this time. You notice the kind of tattoos on your hand, kind of, not glowing per se, but at least kind of like emanating, a little bit of a light or kind of something like that. Something magical, basically.
Okay.
And you're just kind of chilling. You're in this trial area, and okay. It is basically like what you see with the GIF I sent earlier. That's basically kind of the environment you're supposed to be in. Is this area that you're in looks like you're on a path, kind of, with a lot of different fall kind of shrubbery and trees, and kind of like a little pathway.
Oh God, do we need to bring somebody a shrubbery?
Shrubbery. Some shrubbery.
Must bring me another shrubbery.
God, I should have watched Monty Python before this. Fuck. God, I love Monty Python. So
right?
Jin's just chilling on this path. Oh my god. I might have to pull the frickin' Black Knight. I had not planned that, but I might have to pull the Black Knight this session if it allows.
Tis but a flesh wound.
Tis but a flesh wound. So Jin's just chilling. You know those memes of like the guy looking at his watch, just kind of waiting.
I'm literally just like sitting on a rock with my pocket watch out.
Yeah,
And I'm taking a drink out of my flask, and I'm like sitting there smoking a cigarette, just waiting patiently for you guys to all show up.
Yeah. But as you're there first, you're able to get a little bit of kind of surroundings kind of picked up just from this kind of looking. Sorry, hold on. I saw a chicken gif in my gifs. I'm trying to save the fall path because I like that. I'm trying to delete a couple gifs. So my brain's like not multitasking. Alright, there you go. I have that saved. So as you're kind of looking around, you notice how your camp was set up and kind of angled. It was kind of looking in the direction of the sky. Okay? And you look kind of down the pathway, and you see it kind of goes up kind of that mountainous area that I was previously describing. So, like the second trial, where you're in the same kind of location area, but the times are different. Kind of like the first one. So you're in a different environment like the first trial. You're in the same location at the same time in the second trial. And the third trial is kind of a combination of both. You're kind of picking up as you're just, taking, your cigarette hits and just kind of vibing, But would you have like a notepad and you're just kind of like scribbling some shit down while you're waiting for everyone?
Yeah, just kind of looking around and seeing, like, paying attention to the flora and fauna and seeing what's around.
Okay. And so I think it was Narza second who drank the broth or whatever. I think it was. So after you get your surroundings, you just see kind of a weird kind of little blip as it's like a weird light kind of materializes in front of you, and you just see Narza just kind of standing there, just kind of like not awake, and then about like 5 seconds later, you just hear him just kind of take a deep breath and just kind of blip into existence.
And like the whole time,
there.
I'm just watching it and smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, no, none of you have had like the time to actually look at this shit before and kind of see how the drink's been working. So you finally like just see him kind of show up, and then that meme with the like regaining sentience type shit. That's basically the kind of vibe. Is just Narza wakes up like nothing happened, but at the same time his body just like jump started like there was a freaking delay. And Narza just shows up, and then quickly after, you see a frantic Ari just kind of on the floor in fetal position, where a bag would be, and then Torden kind of shortly after kind of spawns in after Udabrosk and McKean. Just due to his constitution being so high, Torden takes a little bit of time to get into the spirit realm. Actually, no, he'd actually show up faster. Never mind. Fuck
Yeah,
that.
I was about to say, Torden doesn't have great con.
Wait, oh right,
Which is
never
kind of
mind.
funny.
Never mind. You show up naturally then. I was gonna be like, wait, wouldn't you be like having a higher constitution so you take longer, even though you're attuned with the magic and spirituality and shit?
The only thing I could see it causing is like if you were to drink a normal sized cup, just sitting there and waiting for a little bit.
Yeah. Whereas Ari's just like, boom, out.
Udabrosk just hands you like one of those like world's best dad mugs. That is like you know those massive mugs, right? That are like you can hold like 2 bottles of wine in. That's your
like
typical
that one mug
cup.
you have.
I find that funny because I'm currently drinking tea out of that mug. I might have to send him a picture of the current mug that I'm drinking out of now.
Hell yeah.
You'll need something beside it for scale. It's a pretty big mug.
Alright. So, as you guys kind of get into this trial, you guys kind of sober up a little bit, and Udabrosk just kind of sits down on a stump and kind of looks at the trail for you guys. And he goes, "Welcome to the fall trial. I fortunately don't have to watch over the half-elf this time. Or half-breed. Sorry, half-breed. He keeps calling Swain a half-breed, because he's technically half-drow. So, just had to specify he's not a half-elf. That would completely fuck up the story. That was not what I meant to say. Point is, I'm not Englishing properly. Yo, that's a good-ass mug. That's not even the type that I was talking about. Yo, I'll have to send you a picture of the mug that I got my dad with my mom when I was a kid. There's one that's even bigger, but that is fucking amazing.
Hell, we saw one that was even bigger a while back, and
It's about twice the size of a normal one.
That's the kind of mug I need in my life. I follow the one cup policy. It doesn't matter how big the cup is. It's just one cup. Anyway.
As long as your girls for it, right? Oh god, I think
no!
Shit.
No!
My bad.
That's so funny though. That's so funny. Oh. Oh god. Oh my god, dude, the fucking timing. Alright.
What's up?
That is so fucking funny. Holy shit, dude. Sorry. I just need a fucking minute to process that. Alright. Okay. Sorry. I just broke the DM for a few minutes.
It's okay. I can turn around and just break Ramrod really fast. That'd be a little bit easier for you.
Oh my god.
And you think you can break me?
Oh my god.
I lost the game.
Okay. Alright,
Yep.
After DM breathes for a second and drinks some water. Dude, oh my god, the out-of-pocket shit, I fucking love it. Oh my god, the freaking, the timing. Okay,
The best part is I can say that, and I'm not sure if Raven would get that. Ari would get it. But I think the two younger of us would not get it at all.
meh.
I lost the game.
Oh my god, that is funny. Okay,
what did I miss? Sorry, Frank, you wanted outside, so.
Oh, I said you lost the game.
okay. So my brain completely reset and fried. Okay, that is really funny. So you guys all kind of get your bearings, and Udabras is, taking a hit of this pipe and looks up the path, and he says, "Unfortunately, I can actually come in this trial this time, though this one always has been my favorite, if that makes sense." And he kind of hops off his stump and starts kind of walking down the path and just kind of, waves to have you guys kind of follow him and kind of up the path. You guys all see that he's kind of leading you up that mountainous area that you guys were looking at. And he kind of briefly explains that this one is about 200 years ago, or not 200, about 100-ish years ago. So about 100 years after the events of the second trial. He's just kind of, giving a brief explanation of it's, by the way, this trial is about 100 years after what you just went through. This one, it's interesting to me. And doesn't really elaborate beyond that, but as you guys kind of walk up, you notice some of the trees are kind of planted very, very nicely, very firmly into the ground, and they look like a lot of older trees. Trees that have been there for, honestly, like millennia. practically from the island's inception, which is kind of a lot more different than the trees you've seen in the previous areas. And oddly enough, you don't see any of the treants that you would have seen in the previous islands. Or not previous islands, the previous sessions. So, as you're walking, you see Udabras kind of smiling and looking at some of the trees. And as you guys kind of get up to it's more of like a hill than a mountain, but as you guys start kind of reaching the top, you see a lot of kind of like cherry blossom trees and a kind of a wide assortment. Even though cherry blossoms are kind of out of season for this area, there are different varieties and stuff. So you see some cherry blossoms, you see some maples and some other things, kind of in this like giant circular kind of ring aesthetic, kind of at the end of a path. And you see a couple treants. You guys would recognize them as Trad and Trisha, but they appear a lot older. About 100 years older, like the timeline set up. And they don't see you guys for some reason. You guys don't really kind of know why, but for some reason they look like they're kind of looking at something. And you're just...
I try to walk up to him and start a conversation.
Alright. As you kind of try to walk up to them, they don't respond. Last time you were able to kind of talk to the NPCs, but this time it doesn't look like you're able to, or at least currently aren't able to. You're more of like an observer, but when you try to go up to them, you notice like a little seed kind of in the ground. And it looks kind of like a mixture of like a maple and kind of like a dark oak. It looks like a hybrid between Trisha and Trad. Looks like a little interbred sapling. It's kind of in the soil.
Can I interact with the sapling?
You can't specifically touch it, but you can get close to it and kind of look at it. It looks like it's been in the ground for, I don't know, like a couple. Like, hold on, how long does it take for a hold on. I'm just kind of curious. How long does it take for a maple sapling to grow? I thought it'd take like 5 or 10 years. Maple grows medium rate, about a foot or two per year. Take 30 to 4 years. Okay, so it looks like it's about 20-ish years old. It's not really so it's kind of in like the early stages of trees. I don't know much about trees. I'm just kind of curious. So basically about 10 to 20-ish years. So pretty early on in the lifespan of a tree growing. And you see them kind of like nurturing it like it's their baby, because it is their baby. The way I'm writing this, basically treants plant a little sapling in the ground after they root, and then after about 20 to 30 years,
Dude,
it grows into a
as
little
long
tree.
as you're not having the as long as you're not having the treant breastfeeding, whatever.
Yeah, so this appears to be kind of a mixture of a like a nursery and a graveyard in between. Because as you look around, you notice a lot of trees that are in the millennias of ages. So it appears kind of, you're seeing the kind of mid to late end of a treant's life. They've been able to kind of have their enjoyment, their thrills of treant lifehood. And no, the fuck, I thought I saw something on my desk. Okay, never mind. You're able to just kind of observe them kind of tending to the maple tree and just kind of having a relaxed life. And as you're kind of observing this, you see a lot of the other trees, like the maples, very solidified in the ground, as if they were kind of once alive, but kind of took root and ended. Basically, I'm trying to say, like, the treant trees, when they kind of, like, go die and they go planted into the ground, they look kind of a little bit different from a normal tree, but they're kind of converted into a natural tree, if that makes sense. As they're kind of returning back to the earth, or island, you know what I mean? So, as you guys are able to just kind of take this in, you notice the treants kind of look around and start to kind of go down the path. You guys all kind of want to look at the sapling, or is it just kind of Jin looking at the sapling and then they kind of start turn around and go down the path?
Ari would look at it, scratch her head, shrug, and continue.
Alright.
I would make sure that she didn't have her hatchet next to her.
Ari hates nature. Artificers.
Artificers do not nature.
It's in their nature.
Alright, so as you guys kind of follow the treants, a lot of time passes. Most of this trial, you guys are kind of just like walking and watching the treants kind of have a natural day in their life. So for the next couple hours in game, you guys don't really do too much, and Udabras just kind of sits back and watches and kind of observes it like a fond memory, just a life kind of in its final stages. There's no great glorious battles typically going on. It's just that honest life. And you'll kind of get the feeling that the goddess that was kind of watching over you at the first trial is kind of watching over you guys like she was. And as you guys head back down the little pathway, you guys notice some humans kind of just walking around the foot of the path in this little fall area. Some humans, some elves, some other species that you guys have seen in the second trial, but none are recognizable, obviously, because that was about 100 years ago. Sorry, I'm describing this kind of poorly. As you guys are kind of walking around and watching that, it looks like some of the humans are kind of chopping some of the trees at the foot of the hill. And as that's kind of going on, you see Trad just absolutely snipe a couple of the humans with his little branches. Yeah, why do I keep wanting to say tendrils? They're branches.
Does tendrils sound cooler?
Yeah, tendrils do sound cooler. I'm just like, I keep
The
trying
wood tendrils are coming off the main branch, just like reach towards you. Wait, what?
Yeah, basically. So you see Trisha just kind of chilling as you guys watch a scene of graphic gore of a very chill guy not acting chill and just brutally murdering about like 8 people that were just like chopping a bunch of trees. As this is again kind of a graveyard. But they wouldn't really know that. So, there's not really anything for you guys to have done there. Just, as you are just observers, but...
So we just watch a massacre and
Yeah.
desecration of corpses.
Yeah, basically. I mean, they were trying to massacre the corpses. They don't know that though. Just just some details to kind of the island. But afterwards, you notice the tree ain't not happy or sad. Just kind of, it's life. It's the cycle of life. Protecting, your loved ones.
Circle of life,
The circle of life, yeah.
and it moves us all.
And moves us all, yeah. See, artificers can nature. No, that's Ari talking, not Ari and Game Art in the first.
That's Ari talking, not Ari talking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, after that happens, you notice Trad kind of not digging up next to the roots specifically, but he puts the bodies kind of next to the trees to kind of help funnel the cycle of life. Using the nutrients of the slain to, nourish the young.
Fertilizer.
Yeah, fertilizer. See, I'm saying it in such a beautiful way of, it's just nourishing life. Just like, just kill the dude and just bury the bodies. But for a good reason. And as that kind of happens, you guys see him kind of retreat back up to the hill. And as he does that, let me check something. Okay. He heads back up to the top of the hill, settling down kind of next to Trisha, next to the little sapling. So, like in the previous sessions, you guys see the sky kind of, rapidly go faster. It's like kind of like a speed up effect. And Udabras kind of takes another hit of his pipe. And you guys see the sapling grow very quickly over the next, 20-ish years of a sapling's life. So, as that's happening, the environment kind of changes a bit. The island looks to be getting a lot colder. Colder than a normal fall. You notice that the maple trees tend to be a lot more fine, but I mentioned there was kind of those cherry blossoms that weren't specifically in season for that area, but due to the nature of it and it being kind of a graveyard, it was fine because most trees are resilient to all seasons, that. But some trees aren't as resilient to certain climate changes. As that's kind of going on, you notice some of the trees dying off. Some of the other ones, I don't have a specific name of a fancy tree, but hold on. Why is my desk not closing?
It's a poplar tree.
What's a poplar tree?
I know it was a poplar tree.
Oh. Trees. Huh? I didn't know evergreen trees died in winter.
They don't really die. They just kind of hibernate.
Oh, huh. Okay. I don't know. I was trying to Google, but yeah, because the reason is I'm in the evergreen state, so that doesn't make sense. Okay. I was just trying to Google a specific type of tree. Basically, just some of the trees. All you guys need to know is basically some of the trees that aren't accustomed to the colder climates kind of started dying out. It looks like around that time frame, and you see Udabras kind of looking a little bit more sad, and he kind of points his pipe towards Trisha and Trad. And their little maple guy's been growing up. He's still just a little sapling in the soil. He hasn't come to life like a normal treant would. It takes a little bit longer. But as you guys are able to see that, they're kind of a little bit sad as they're looking around their little graveyard, which is supposed to be a beautiful kind of memorial to all the treants that have lived and died and passed their times, and they are just tending to the little maple tree. And as you guys watch that, you see a couple more saplings kind of sprouting next to the little maple guy. I'm gonna call him Mapey, or hold on. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a pun for a maple tree. Fuck.
Mabel. Mabel the
Mabel.
Maple.
Mabel the Maple. All right, Mabel the Maple. Thank you. You see, Mabel the Maple, slowly kind of growing. He starts to have some of his little sprouts on the the leaves. I mean, it's been 20 years, so a maple would actually be kind of growing. So basically, once it hits full maturity, from your guys' kind of picked up understanding, it would kind of be about time for a treant to kind of be born as a treant, if that makes sense. I don't know. I'm trying to piece together how to put together a freaking birth cycle of a fucking treant.
That's just when they become sentient.
Yeah, basically. So you guys see that kind of happen, and another 20 years skip happens as the skies kind of shoot forward, and Mabel the Maple kind of grows to a decent sized maple tree, and its branch kind of first moves, and you see Trad and Trisha kind of smile and say, "Our baby boy, our baby Mabel, it's moved its first branch." God, I'm fucking stupid. I'm sorry. As that kind of happens, you see the treant, tree slowly become a treant as its kind of trunk kind of pulls itself out of the soil very slowly. It is not a slow process. It takes a couple years for it to happen, but for a tree, a couple years isn't really long. So over these years, kind of like time lapsing over it, you see it slowly crawl its way out of the soil and kind of start breathing and coughing a little bit. And it's been about, I'd say, 50-ish years at this point since since the first time skip, yeah. So you're kind of noticing that the island's changed a lot at this point. As you're kind of looking around, you see the trees kind of start getting a little attacked by winter almost. You see it kind of bleeding into the mountainous region, which is a little odd. You guys kind of would be able to notice. All around this island, there hasn't been really a bleeding of seasons, and as Trad kind of looks around, a lot of the smaller trees started kind of dying off. A lot of them, about I'd say about a quarter of the trees that were kind of in this like little sanctuary area were getting kind of damaged. So as you guys kind of look around at these trees, you're kind of at the path, just kind of looking, and this time when Trad kind of turns around, he sees you guys. And he smiles. And he goes, oh, I haven't seen you guys in a long time. Specifically, Torin, Jin, and Narzer and Arya. He hasn't seen McKean before, but he just assumes that you guys are just kind of there.
I just kind of watch as it happens. I really want to like take stock of where we are, like mentally, like try to memorize as much of the landscape as possible
Yeah,
to see if when we come out of this, if I can recognize the area.
yeah. When he kind of turns around and looks at you guys, he's just kind of smiling. He looks a lot older, obviously, because I said the timeline's getting a little bit fucked up. I'm kind of scuffing this. I feel okay. Basically though, he just kind of looks at you guys, and he kind of gestures to Mabel the Maple. He's fully out of the ground. He's basically, a couple years old at this point for a tree. I mean, a maple tree's pretty big, but for a tree ant, not necessarily the biggest, because technically tree ants will be a smaller tree than a normal maple, but you get the point. In comparison, he's small. That's all that matters. He's a small tree. He's a small tree. I need to stop overcomplicating everything. But Mabel the Maple kind of, walks forward a little bit and, introduces himself as, hi, I'm Mabel the Maple. Nice to meet you. And, kind of extends his little branch out to you guys. Specifically, Jin, because he heard great things about the great gin tonic that brought his parents together.
So I don't even like try to shake the branch. I like pull him in for a hug. I'm like, I feel like I'm like your godfather.
Yeah. Mabel the Maple's just smiling and just chilling. And he kind of, points his little branch backwards, kind of in a weird kind of like the way a branch would kind of try to move its arm to kind of look back, but he doesn't really got that mobility yet as a tree. He's kind of like a twiggy tree almost for a maple. But yeah, so Mabel and Maple's just kind of chilling. He's kind of vibing, and you see Trad just kind of looking back at you guys with a decent smile, but there's something to it. There's something more behind that smile. As he kind of points to the tree huggers. I told you, Mickey, this entire session's been tree huggers. It's great. He kind of points to the trees that have died with the winter. And he just kind of somberly says, it appears the seasons are changing when they never have in all my lifetime. As he kind of goes up to one of the trees it's like a dead hanging tree. Those like deadfall trees that are like up in the forest. He kind of pushes it down, and the best way a tree could cry, I guess. You see this kind of sap kind of flowing down his like face as he just starts ripping this tree out of the soil because it's completely dead. It's rotting, and just starts trying to clean it up as snow is just kind of falling out of the trees that he's pulling up. And he just looks really, really fucking sad. Because, as this is a graveyard of tree ants, this is where the tree ants were supposed to kind of go when they die. Or be born, and then, kind of come back. Like how salmon work, right? They get born in the river, they go down the river, go out to the ocean, and then come back. That's kind of the vibe. And these are like old ass ancestors. You know, these are people that, you know, lived back 1,000+ years ago, back, you know, before the heroes, back before, you know, your party even was alive, you know, tons of shit. And a lot of the smaller saplings are, you know, saplings that were grown before the trans, you know, died and, you know, became trees again. So all generations are being affected in this area as the fall is being tainted by the winter. But you look at Trisha, and she's just smiling. Clearly, she's a little bit sad, but she has kind of a different outlook. You kind of see on her face as they've all lived their lives, and even after death, it doesn't really matter. You know, sure, you know, it's sad that they died, but you know, they had their life as a treant, and all they're going back to is the earth. So that kind of like two conflicting viewpoints is kind of like how their actions are going. They're not really saying much, but they're just kind of happy to have a little bit of company and seeing you guys again.
Don Lee left.
Left. I don't know if his Discord had an issue or something. I was pausing for a second.
Sure, what was that?
Smith left the call, so I don't know if he's like having to do something real quick.
Okay.
Give me Oh, okay. He messaged me. His mom's calling,
Oh, okay.
and he's okay.
All right. Hold on.
Timing.
Yeah, no, I get you.
That could be a few minutes.
All
I'd
right.
say go on ahead with it.
I was gonna say like I can pause for like 5 or 10 minutes because I gotta use the bathroom anyways and grab some more water and just give
All
me a
right.
few minutes.
Ooh,
Okay.
I'll go smoke.
Yeah. All right.
Holy shit,
That
the
works.
character I'm building for Buddy of Mine's campaign that's about to start. I just realized I have a +6 on my wisdom saving modifier.
Hell yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. I'm doing a
Don't
Death
be
Domain
joined.
Necromancy Cleric.
All right. We'll pause for about 5 or 6 minutes. I gotta use the bathroom anyway.
Okay,
so
sounds good.
Good timing.
Sounds great.
Is your mom okay?
Yeah, I just want. They called because I didn't call them this weekend.
Whereas you
So
were
they're
busy here while I was driving halfway across the country again.
Yeah. On the bright side, though, my mom just realized she's unprepared for this whole holiday storm or for this storm. So she
Uh-oh.
is gonna go out and grab some supplies because she only has 4 bottles of wine.
Okay.
What?
Great time to shop for non-essentials. Although your dad might make that actually more essential.
My dad definitely makes having wine more essential.
Yes. I'm inclined to agree from what I've heard so far.
He's not as bad as you think.
He's worse.
Yes.
Yeah. He's gonna hate me, hon. I have
No, he's not.
opinions. He's gonna hate me because I have opinions. And also, I'm firmly on your side, so he's gonna hate me twice as much. But that's fine. Whatever. I can hate him right back. I'm good with this. I want your mom to like me, though.
My mom will like you.
I hope.
I mean, she likes
I
Harry,
mean-
so
Okay. Well, maybe I've got a chance then. Although there is the whole fact of like, okay, can't give her grandkids.
she'll live.
So, yep. Also, in my defense, I was left unattended.
With what?
Tools.
I mean, I approve.
I hope so, because you get to help me move things around here in a little bit. I'm getting the shelf put together for down here. This didn't take a whole lot of brain power. It's just keeping my hands busy. It is way too quiet on here now.
You want to talk about stuff?
Yes.
What to talk about, but yeah, sure.
You could talk about pets, about comics, cartoons you've seen. That's really the only thing I have.
Tell us
I'm
your
good with
theory
any
on the
of
meaning
it.
of life.
Um,
Life exists
really.
to live. There, I solved it all.
I mean, my purpose in life is to make people smile.
Well, that's your chosen purpose in life. The universe doesn't care.
I know, but it's fun antagonizing the universe.
Yeah, that's fair.
It tells me, hey, we're gonna make you horrible. And I go, bet. And then weird stuff happens. And you can't even deny it.
I need more light. That's what I need. And I just realized I got these shelf doodads the wrong way around. Damn it. I feel like a moron. Go
Don't
me.
worry, your actions disprove that.
Oh. Well, I mean, you didn't see me mess this up, right?
I mean, I could go down there and check really fast.
Nah. We're good.
All
If you
right.
feel like an idiot, I can show you a video which will make you feel smart.
I need a video that makes
That's
me
like
feel
most
smart.
of the internet.
I need a video that makes me feel smart. I'm back. Sorry.
Okay, I'll send it to you as well.
Hell yeah. All right. So we left off with Mabel, the Maple, chilling with the party, and he kind of goes up to you guys, and specifically Jin, and he says, could I spend the night with you guys down at your camp? I think it'd be really fun to kind of get out of this little sanctuary area.
And I want to look around and see if there's anything to drink.
You do see some maple syrup bottles and some other things.
Anything
Oh,
I would
God.
drink.
Anything you would drink, not in the sanctuary, unfortunately.
Pretty
Ugh,
sure you
yeah.
could ferment maple syrup and make something.
Yeah, probably.
I grab Maple and I just pull out my flask and I'm like, if you're gonna party, you're gonna party. And I hand him the flask.
Or he just face palms.
So Mabel starts taking hits of your flask and starts, chilling. And you guys kind of see him walk down the path with you guys, kind of heading back to where your camp would be, but it's technically not there in the dream state, or But for some reason, there is kind of a little bit of a camp there. So, I'll just say that Udabras set up a little camp there for you guys to stay the night. So Mabel the Maple's just kind of chilling with you guys, and as Jin's, attending to his, needs as a young man, coming into the world and kind of growing up a little bit, giving him plenty of alcohol, plenty of talks about all this shit, all the fun adventures and shit, being the cool
terrible influence.
being the terrible influence you need to be, but it's amazing.
Oh
Mabel's
God,
having a
looking at my
blast.
soul.
hearing about all the fun stuff that you guys get to do. Mabel's having a blast, having some friends, because the state of this valley is not good right now. Trad and Trisha obviously, kind of watching over, but kind of staying their distance. Let him have a play date with their friends type shit. So over a couple hours, Mabel, he doesn't get drunk. He's a freaking tree. It's really hard to get a tree drunk. He's just chilling though.
But I try.
Oh, you've tried. You tried your absinthe, your cocktails, your everything.
I feel like I do get a little bit drunk though, and I like awkwardly tell him about how I got his parents together.
Yeah.
And like at some point I'm going into like way too much detail. I feel like Ari just like
That
bitch
poor kid
slaps
is
me.
now traumatized for life.
Oh my god. Mabel the Maple's just chilling. He's smirking, he's smiling, he's laughing. He's having a fucking blast.
He's hearing about his parents' tree orgy.
Listen.
Mass
Polyamory ain't.
pollination event.
Yeah, polygamy ain't too weird for trees. It's mass pollination, like Leismith said. Okay, it's a mass pollination event. He's heard all the stories.
Yeah.
His parents were swingers. If you catch my drift, if you think about it. Okay, they're trees.
Hey, both of his parents are technically tree hugging hippies, so
exactly. It fits. It fits the plot. So. Mabel the Maple's chilling, and as you guys are kind of, doing your thing, what would you guys all be kind of doing at camp specifically? You're still.
I'm going to be drinking.
Well, yeah, obviously you're drinking, taking care of Mabel. Ari, are you keeping an eye on Jin to make sure he doesn't go too far with the young
Nope.
maple tree, or just staying
she's
away
trying
from
to.
nature?
Hey, she's trying to stop him from being a bad influence on her minions, but
Okay,
the
understandable.
tree kid isn't her problem.
All right.
She's just trying to just hunker down and wait this horrible nature thing out.
The horrible nature
So I
thing.
think we found out how we can tell if Ari is going to be mom to somebody, and if that is Jordan taller than them.
Real.
Tree person is bigger. All right, nope.
Narza,
Yeah.
what would you be doing out of curiosity? You're in camp, in the ayahuasca trip, just chilling with Mabel the Maple. Is there anything you're specifically doing in this area, or not really?
Hopefully holding his poor, goblin partner and patting her on the head and telling her it'll be okay.
Jordan is just sitting there like, okay, where's my party? Awesome. Finds Ari, grabs Ari, puts in bag, just like, and we're just gonna keep everybody away from her in particular.
Alright. So, after a few hours, you guys are able to just kind of, go to sleep and relax, It's a pretty peaceful area over here. Except for, the mini massacre that happened. But, nothing too crazy you've seen. So, does anyone want to, keep watch by chance, or just kind of everyone go to sleep? I'm just curious.
I mean, I feel like I'm just gonna stay up with Mabel and just kind of bullshit, hang out, tell him stories. Like, not necessarily like stay and watch, but like I'm gonna take the opportunity to try to connect with him and like just kind of chat all night, fill in any questions that he has. I try to like gather information about the area. More about like how the trees are dying, like if he has any information that I can get out of that.
Okay.
Just like not like prying information, but just like talking to him, like having a conversation like you would with like your nephew or something like that.
Okay.
Mhm.
So as you're kind of chilling with him, everyone else is just kind of able to settle down, relax, get some shut eye, and Mabel's just talking to you, and he's like, "Man, Jen, it really is nice here, but I'm always in this sanctuary. They're always talking about the winter. They're always talking about some weird, deforesters and a lot of other weird shit kind of going on the island that, didn't happen about 100 years ago. And, I'm a young maple tree, and I'm only about 80 or like 60 or whatever. So, like, for a tree, that's not very long.
Yeah, it's not old at all.
Yeah. So he's just kind of blabbing and stuff, and he's like, I've never really seen these people though. I don't really know why, mom and dad are so worried. I'm a big tree, and he just kind of flexes his little branches. you know, he's like, I got a sturdy
flexes his
trunk.
twigs.
Flexes his twigs, and he's like, I got a sturdy trunk, and it's kind of points to his torso.
I was like, yeah, your dad had a sturdy trunk too.
He's just chuckling and laughing, and he just kind of starts to kind of mellow out and relax as he's kind of looking out into the forest and kind of comfortably kind of starts to fall asleep from the alcohol. It starts to hit him a bit. Not in like a drunken way, but he gets a little bit tired and decides, get some shut eye. So the night kind of passes without anything too crazy going on. You guys hear animals, it might fend off like a little wolf, kind of sneaking around the pack. Not in a pack, but a couple wolves might, stop by. You see some deer, but nothing too dangerous.
Am I still awake?
You could be awake, yeah. Is there anything you wanted to do while you're awake?
Oh, of course. Because, this is Torton we're talking about. He sees giant wolf. You know what his first word is. Puppy.
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 Ooh. I hear
I knew it.
puppy, and I turn around and I'm like, puppy?
Puppy.
Speaking of which, where's our little pet wolf that we got a while back?
Cerberus doesn't come into the trips.
Yeah, he chills on the boat. He is being perfectly tended
He's probably
to.
just waiting.
Yeah, Cerberus is just chilling, being attended to by the 37 wives of Ramron. I mean, of Jin. He just starts cycling him out. He's like, "Hey, Cerberus, did she treat you well? No. Okay, out.
Yep.
Out." Just chucks her off the fucking boat at next port. Gives her a little severance.
I like to think that he throws them off of not the water side, but the land side. So occasionally there's just this loud "dook" of them landing on the sand instead of a splash and going, wait, which side? Oh, wrong
Oops.
side.
As we all know, Chef said it best. You don't pay a woman to come, you pay a woman to leave.
The funny thing about that is Richard is 100% true because being on boats and being like in charge of giving people directions, I would fuck up all the time. I'd be like, starboard side, port side, sorry. Like every fucking time.
It'd be great because I would see him stop and try to figure out what direction he was, and I would literally be pointing towards the front of the boat half the time when he started giving directions, so he could remember port, starboard, starboard. And he could just see me shaking my head no, and he'd go, port.
And it's sad because my entire job was navigating the boat and knowing how to drive it and shit.
Great boat driver, horrible sense of, wait, what way is the boat pointing?
But I do have a great sense of direction.
Which always cracked me up because I could always remember where the front of the boat was, where everything was on the boat, but I would look up and be like, I don't know what direction we're going. You'd be like, we're going northeast, and you were always right.
I don't know how y'all tell directions. I never know my cardinal directions. I'll point east and I'll be like, that's north, isn't it? And they're like, no, it's not.
Yes, that's the side the sun is from. That is north.
I started being able to kind of tell directions based on the sun. I just stopped trying.
I mean, I can tell directions just fine, but all on land.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Give me one badly timed nap, and I would completely lose what time it was until either sunrise or sunset. One of them.
Oh, that's the best when, like, especially when you go to sleep in one time zone, you wake up in another one.
I just did that yesterday.
God,
That
sounds
was the
painful.
worst thing that's ever happened in my Coast Guard career. I think I told you about this, but we had a captain who said, we're not changing time zones. We're just going to remain on the same time zone the entire trip, even when we pull into port.
That does not work very well.
No,
we
sounds horrible.
started the trip
I've heard.
on West Coast time, and we ended up going to Alaska, then from Alaska all the way down to Mexico. And so we ended up at one point where the sun never went down to one point where it was 3 in the afternoon, and it was dark for us because the actual time was somewhere around 9. And we were all sorts of confused. It did not work. All I know is there's people who were drunk at 2 in the morning because they couldn't figure out what time it was, because it's actually 2 in the morning and not 5 in the afternoon.
That's fucking
Things got
nuts.
screwy.
That's
Very,
nuts.
very screwy, and it was amazing.
Alright. So, as you guys are kind of
Trash underscore here joined.
So, as you guys are kind of waking up, Ari, your ears kind of hear a familiar sound. It's a familiar, nice sound for you.
Okay, good sound.
Not good for the area you're in. Um,
Uh-oh.
you kind of wake up and you hear.
Are there explosions?
You could say they're kind of like explosions, but you hear lots
Kinda.
of
Wait, did we already go through the trial or?
No, you're still in the trial. You guys just got to
Oh.
rest up.
Okay.
You guys wake up. Ari wakes up first though, and is just able to mumble just like not nature, refreshing. As you're kind of groggily waking up because your ears are very sensitive, so you'd be the first to kind of notice what's going on.
Yep. And it was
you
quiet enough that I didn't need earplugs.
Exactly. So it was just a very nice, relaxing wake up. You hear lots of machinery, you hear chainsaws, things that you're very comfortable with. So your
Okay,
initial
quick
reaction.
question.
Yeah.
Do any of the machine noises sound like something is badly timed or badly tuned?
They're all pretty well maintained. But again, you guys
Okay,
are
because that would make me kind of grumpy, and I would really wake up faster if that were the case.
Yeah, these are very soothing, like mint condition materials. Okay, like fresh out of the factory. So you just kind of wake up to this machinery kind of in the distance, and you're able to just instantly pick up like, oh, that's kind of like an old chainsaw. That's kind of. And you're just kind of like waking up, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm in a sanctuary in a forest, and you're just kind of start rubbing your eyes. Like, huh? You're like, me like noise. Me not.
I poke Torden.
Torden would probably be making a chainsaw noise.
Yeah, but that sounds like a badly tuned chainsaw, and she's used to that
okay.
noise. So, Ari pokes Torden and starts signing to him and telling him like she hears chainsaw sounds.
Would you be happily
He
signing
would
it or in
glare
a sad
at
way?
first time. like glare and just be like, "You woke me
And-
up because I was snoring," and then realize, oh
and
no,
then
she's
she
being serious.
explains no, like off in the distance. And
So-
not snore chainsaw. Real chainsaw.
So, as the party's kind of, getting woken up by Ari,
Trash_here left.
you see Mabel just kind of waking up and hearing the noise, and he doesn't really know what it is. He's just kind of chilling though. He's like, oh, that's a weird sound. And he's just kind of waking up, looking around. Couple empty bottles of whiskey and shit next to him. I'd say
Ari
whiskey's
walks-
been given. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Ari walks over there, kicks Jin in the shin to wake him up, and then tells the tree kid, like, stay here, not safe.
And he looks down and he's like, "Oh, okay, Miss Ari. I just hear some interesting like equipment. Is that like friends? Is that like people? Like what is this? He's never heard this stuff before.
Tree cutters.
He looks at you kind of confused and he's like, but why would someone cut a tree?
No idea.
Ari fucking hates woodworking. Confirmed.
Oh, actually, you know what? You know what she says? She arches an eyebrow and says, "Tree ask too many questions."
Mabel just
I
looks
would
a
just
little
walk
sad.
over and just grab her axe away from her.
She doesn't have an axe. Remember, you set me up with a sword.
Oh
I'd be
no,
happier with
wasn't that in one of the dreams where she had an axe and she was trying to
Yeah.
cut down part of a branch?
Yeah, I thought maybe I gave her an axe that session. Maybe she had it. I can't remember.
I don't remember either. I just remember it was funny that she was trying to chop down something with an axe. I just kind of walk over and like break it off and hand it to her.
So
Yeah.
Mabel's kind of getting up and looks a little confused and kind of down the road, kind of up the mountainish area is kind of where you hear the chainsaw sounds going. So you'll head up towards the sanctuary area to where the chainsaw noises kind of are coming from.
Yeah, I want to go ahead and fly up in the air and see if I can scout a little bit and report everything back down that I see.
All right. So
Ari is going to keep an eye on the tree kid and kind of hold him back. But she'll send an echo kind of in that general direction to give her a bit of a view ahead of them.
all right.
Do the echoes weigh anything?
I don't think so.
Nope.
Would I be able to carry an echo?
Yeah, you could carry an echo.
Oh, that's a thought.
Yeah, could I
Yeah,
like,
you would.
carry one with you, and then you would
I
be
think
able to
I've
tell them
only got like
directly?
a 60-foot range, though.
I mean, I only have a 30-foot flight speed, but that would give you instant, like, I wouldn't have to come back and talk to you at all. You would immediately know what's going on.
Bro became
True.
Pidgey.
Actually, if Torden will, and I tell Torden basically to keep an eye on the tree kid, and I lay down so I can actually do my my fancy echo thing where I get to travel further.
Yeah.
I'm halfway
Alright.
across the room from my computer, so I can't see the name of the damn.
Yeah, you're good. So as you
It's
guys
like-
are doing that, you guys see that the sanctuary is at least safe for now, but after a couple minutes, Jin, you're kind of looking over the trees and you see about about half to a quarter mile from the sanctuary, there's a small kind of logging camp that kind of got built up, very small, but it appears it kind of snuck in, and you don't really see any specific markings on these people, but you see a lot of elves and like kind of basic workers using some kind of steampunk style chainsaws that you guys would have seen about 50 years ago, some kind of old school stuff, but a little odd that they have more advanced machinery for outskirt area. But
Yeah.
you see them kind of start sawing down, some of the smaller trees as they're kind of, clear cutting through the forest. They've clear cut about, 50, 60, 70 trees. So they've been in progress for a couple days, but, they finally got the equipment set up to start, really getting into it. Magic equipment. But it appears the sanctuary's fine for now.
I relay the information that we have, and then
Yeah. I'll cancel the avatar, so I'm basically back at my body. And I
Okay.
tell them what we saw.
All right. Sounds good.
Fastest way to pass information.
Mm-hmm. And then I want to move forward towards the camp and try to scout it out a little bit more, see how many people are there.
All right. Could you roll me a stealth check? Because this will be about about 10 o'clock in the morning, so the sun's up. All right. That's a passable stealth.
I didn't even see what it rolled
you
because
got
I have it on a.
10. You got a 10, but in total for your dexterity and proficiency. So you're like swerving around, but because you're used to this, even all your fuck ups, you make a passable stealth check.
I'm still a little hungover.
Yeah, you're just kind of like, okay, drink a little much, interesting. And you see this little login camp, and they don't really see you. They keep hearing some weird noises, some stuff that's flying pretty close to them, but there's some assume it's just a big bird. They don't really see you. And you see some kind of weird symbols on their like uniforms. So this is definitely more corporatized versus kind of freelancers. Because earlier, you saw the elves and stuff get kind of butchered like the 50 years ago part. They got butchered and they were just like some freelancers. So, that wasn't a problem. But this time, they look more industrial. They look like, they got some symbols on their uniforms, some shit, they're workers. So they're not like by any means, wealthy, but definitely a little more, more put together, if that makes sense. So, you do see a little spot that doesn't seem too guarded. Because there's no guards. This is just workers. But you do see a spot that does have like some maps and some like little insignias near it. Some little stamped paperwork. Now, there are quite a few people over there. But you could grab some paperwork to kind of get a general idea of, who these people are if you don't get caught. Would you like to try to stealth in and swipe some paperwork?
1 second. Let me
Do it.
let, let me think about how I want to do it.
All right.
No. I can do it. I have a plus 11 to stealth.
But you're not with me.
Oh.
Yeah, he's
I'm
flying right there.
Yeah, I'm scouting the camp right now. I'm just debating because I could use disguise self.
Do you want to fly down and disguise yourself and get an advantage on stealth, just to kind of go in and walk in, grab it, and just act like you're supposed to be there, and be like, "Oh, I left this insignia here."
Yeah.
All right. If you want to do that, I'll allow you to use the disguise stealth and get the advantage on it. Actually, if it's a spell, disguise creature can use. You know what? Yeah, no. You'd auto get that then if you have disguise self. Okay. Yeah. So you just
and I'm
walk
casting
in.
that at a second level. So
Yeah. So yeah, you just kind of fly down. You walk in. You look like an elf. High elf looking motherfucker. You look down. You see some paperwork. You got the clipboard in hand, and you just kind of grab it. And one guy asks you, hey, who are you again? And you just kind of turn around. And you're able to just be like, clipboard.
Yeah.
Points at the
I
ears.
point at it. I point at it. I point at him. I point back at the clipboard, and then I just walk away.
Yeah. Hey, I work security, bro. That shit works way too often, bro. It's scary. Fun fact: the ER is not locked in hospitals. Fun fact:
Nope.
I learned that the hard way. I was working security, and my boss got mad because I kept clocking out like 5 minutes late. And I'm like, "Yo, there's no way in. Our badges don't work." He's like, "The ER door's unlocked." I'm like, "Why the fuck is the ER door unlocked?" And they're like, go try it." And I tried it, and I'm like, "Dude, you're telling me this entire time some dude with a freaking knife could have just walked into the main security office and shot people or stabbed them?" And he's like, "Yeah, basically." I'm like, 10 out of 10 security. Working security
Gotta
has made
love
me
it.
fall in love with keypads. If there is not a keypad there, I do not like it. Bro, that shit drove me insane. Anyway, sorry. So you just walk in, clipboard the motherfucker, grab the papers, and just walk out like nothing fucking happened. They don't even notice that the paperwork's gone because these are some blue collar laborers. They're not really paid too much to pay attention. No one really fucking knows who's in charge, and by any time that they could have noticed, papers get misplaced all the time. All you know is there's probably just one angry elf wondering where the fuck the papers are.
Where did I put that fucking paper?
Yeah, no.
Why does
Fucking
this sound
bureaucracy.
so much like officers? This is weird.
Yeah.
Right?
So you're able to get back to the party, and you have some nice documentation. You have some elven names kind of popping up. Nothing's really popping up, but who wants to kind of like look at the paperwork overall?
I want to play.
All right, Ari, you're able to kind of scamper over and look at the paperwork, and you don't notice anything specifically on the paperwork per se, but you do notice a lot of the machinery. This is stuff like from about like 100 years ago for you. So you're looking at this machinery like, this specific steampunk chainsaw. You're like, this shit's old. And like, this is only technically 50 years ago, but at the same time,
Yeah.
this shit's old. So, little bit weird. But,
I relay what I know about it.
All right. So the machinery's old, so something's off. Most companies wouldn't be using this tech at this time, so a little strange, but could just be because it's an outer island. Could be it's just Ring 2. You don't really know. Does anyone else want to try to look at the paperwork?
I would.
All right, Jordan. Do you? Okay, so you're looking at the paperwork, and you're stroking your armor. I guess I don't know. I'm just imagining you stroking your beard, but you have armor there. As you're looking at it, you notice some symbols. Nothing too specific for you, but you notice a couple things you would have seen on maybe the goddess. Some stuff about some magic, and you notice some environmental paperwork on there. You're from an island that has a strange environment. You would have noticed some strange weather patterns. So, as the resident sorcerer, you notice a couple of the things, like maybe some climate changing, some kind of weird religious text. You don't have a lore book in front of you, but basic inferences. You're like, that looks kind of religious. That looks a little like this. There's some fucking shit going on with this island right now, and there's some documentation saying this group of people had something tying to it. So that's all you're able to really get off it, but it's pretty useful potentially later down the road. Now, Narza, do you look at the paperwork by chance?
Yes.
All right. So when you look at the paperwork, your eyes are kind of glancing over it a little bit. You're reading it. You get the gist of, some of the earlier stuff, but as you start flipping through the pages a little bit more intimately, you start seeing a sigil kind of popping up. A little sigil. Little familiar little guy. Okay, something a little goofy's on there. Looks a little different than something you've seen before, but it looks an awful lot like Frelnor's sigil, but altered. So, it doesn't look exactly like Frelnor's sigil, but maybe a relative, or maybe when he's in a younger clan. You don't really know for sure, but it sure as hell looks like something related to Frelnor. And it's just plastered all over this shit. Like, paperwork of chop these trees to send resources back to X city in an area that Frelnor would have been from. So, it looks like these fuckers are some workers, at least tied to Frelnor. So, appears you guys have stumbled upon the beginnings of Frelnor's reign. So, what do y'all do? These are just workers.
Ari looks
They're chopping a lot of trees.
confused because she has no idea who that is.
He's the guy that's basically being a major asshole douchebag who has Narza's friend kidnapped.
Okay.
Yeah. He's the main asshole of this island. That's why you guys are here specifically. It's
And
for
he
that
killed
problem.
Narza's parents.
Yeah, and he killed Narza's parents. Just a
Yeah.
casual little detail. Just, Yeah. Really bad asshole. And you guys are just looking at this paperwork. So, how do y'all want to handle these workers? Do you just want to, take their shit away? Or do you all want to just, butcher a bunch of workers?
I mean, you guys know where my mind's at.
Because they are making their way to the sanctuary. Y'all don't know if this is going to really affect anything, because, this is a weird, trial in a dream, but, dream
Sneak
like
out
state.
and start setting some landmines
Alright.
a bit ahead of them.
Alright. Ari's going for explosives.
Probably try and intimidate one of them.
So you want to...
Or him to tell me what they know.
Alright, so you wanna go into their camp and just go shock and awe and do that, or you wanna go stealthy, you sneak into their camp, you try to find one of their leaders and start choking them out.
Yeah, the stealth one.
Alright, so Narza wants to go stealth. Ari sounds like they want to kind of set up some preliminary, if something goes wrong minds. Sounds good.
Yep. Ari's gonna stay near the tree kid, but use an echo to go out and set those in case she gets caught.
Alright.
So her body is curled up on Torden's backpack just in case.
Alright. Do you want to have anyone go with you, Narza, or do you want to kind of solo stealth in there and try to find an NPC? Or do you want to have some reconnaissance and maybe have Jin kind of give you some alerts from the skyline? How do y'all want to get this info?
I mean, I would assume that is because my disguise self lasts for an hour.
Okay.
So I would assume that I came back, dropped off the documents, and then I went back into the camp to try to gather more intel.
Okay.
All right.
So if I'm in there, I'm gathering intel and just planting grenades, flasks of oil, all sorts of shit. Putting vials of acid inside the steampunk chainsaws.
Sneak in and try to find one of the leaders.
Okay. So while Jin's setting that stuff up, you want to be kind of on the outskirts and try to pick off one of the guys and just kind of drag him outside of the camp.
Yeah.
For interrogation purposes. Okay. And Jin, you would probably be able to tell him some someone who looks like he'd be in charge. Fuckers accidentally salute all the time when they're not supposed to. One guy got a little too cocky and is like, all right, major motherfucker. Major fuckface. And,
What? We would never salute people we don't like in foreign ports.
So, he accidentally salutes the guy in charge as a mockery because, they're not actually soldiers, but you get the point. And within about 5 minutes, Nars is able to just kind of go nab his freaking ass and tie him up with a rope. About, 5 minutes away from camp. So his screams cannot be heard. Narza, what would you like to do with Major Fuckface? I'm just calling him Major Fuckface because I don't have a name for this NPC.
I have a question real quick.
Yeah, what would you want to do?
So you explained out of character that like this island has been like already corrupted for like a while, so everybody that has even a bit of power, we're just gonna assume they're just outright bad guys. It's no gray area, right? Correct?
Well, you don't know 100% about these guys because this is about 50 years ago. Y'all are in some weird kind of trial right now, so none of this, from your guys' understanding, really affects much. You guys don't really understand the implications of kind of these dream states right now. From your understanding, this is just kind of like a memory that you guys are like reenacting through and kind of experimenting and kind of trying to gather information through this trial. Basically, you guys don't know what the fuck is going on. All you know is that you guys got some information here, and you guys are able to enact on it to try to get more information for by the time that you get out of the trial.
And the 3 people are involved with the trial in some fashion, so letting them all die would probably be bad.
Yeah.
That's my understanding.
Yeah. So that's all you guys are able to really.
I had an orgy with these people. I'm connected to them.
Yeah. Jin might have some saplings out there. Nah, he has the magic condom. He's fine.
Yes.
God, I'm gonna love that.
I was about to say the splurge, bro.
So, Narza, what do you want to do to this NPC? He got dragged, kicking and screaming, and he is just sitting there in front of you, just kind of bound and gagged. Narza?
I move down the gag and tell him that if he screams, he's dead, and that if he answers my questions, I'll let him go. No questions asked.
He quietly
all
nods.
the questions asked.
He quietly nods. Why is my cursor fucked up? Okay, whatever.
Now, I have 2 questions for you. Why did you come here? And what relation or what business do you have with Frelnor?
He just kind of looks at you, and he just goes, "I'm just a simple logger, man. I was told to start chopping some trees. I heard there was some guy named Frelnor. I guess he's just some administrator in the company. I don't really know much about that guy. I mean, all I've heard is that he's been making some moves just to get some promotions, to get some money." He looks relatively honest. Like he's kind of scared, but he's just like a little more confused. He doesn't really know this Frelnor guy. Like, it's kind of odd. He's like,
Probably show the sigil on the paper that I have.
He looks at it and he looks at it kind of closely, and he's like, I mean, that's more of a nobleman's sigil. Like, I mean, maybe he's like related to Frelnor. Like, I don't know. Like, I've obviously that's my, the sigil my company was employed with. We work for them. We're just a simple company. We're logging some trees. I mean, technically we're not supposed to be here, but no harm, no foul, right? so some illegal
Yes,
stuff.
You realize that Koreans live here, right?
He just kind of looks at you and he's like, I mean, like, I haven't killed any trees. I'm just
They
the
can
absolute.
still feel the deaths of trees and plant life. You really
Don't
want
forget their
an
babies look like regular
angry giant
trees.
tree trying to kill you?
He just kind of looks around at the trees and he's like, I don't know, man. I just was told to chop some trees here. The I the he's like sweating bullets. Like he doesn't seem to really give a fuck. He's just more scared than anything. He's just trying to tell you what y'all want to hear.
Yeah, don't forget the baby treants look like trees.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
You're basically killing baby trees by accident or on purpose. I don't know which.
He just looks around and he's like, I'm just a guy that was paid to chop some trees. I know we weren't supposed to chop here. I heard about some treants. I mean, I ain't trying to kill nothing that's alive. I mean, I have
He
seen
wasn't
some
out
strange
there.
saplings, and he just kind of is looking around, and you definitely notice some saplings that do not look like normal saplings that were just cut in the middle of the clear cutting. Dozens. And the guy seems to kind of get the gist, but he seems kind of like those Nestle workers that didn't really give a fuck and just kind of did what they did because there was no repercussions.
and
now
that
the
is why I
repercussions are here.
boycott Nestle, by the way. Yeah.
He's just like, so am I gonna be killed? He's just a quirky little supervisor. He doesn't know what he did wrong, except that he knows everything
Yep.
is wrong.
And there's that word again.
Supervisor.
Let me know when my little mine, like
Oh, yeah,
landmine setting run is done.
Yeah, your landmines will be set up by now. You guys have had like, a good, 20 minutes, go in and out, grab paperwork, plant oil
Yeah.
flasks, be
So can I
torturing
be
and
like standing behind this guy as he's being interrogated?
Yeah, you can press the barrel of your gun to his head if you want.
Yes, I want.
Yes, you want. You may not like nature, but you don't wish to harm the nature. The nature does not meld with the artificer.
It's more because, as far as Ari is concerned, like, okay, they might be weird, freaky tree people, but they are people, and their babies are being harmed.
Yeah.
So she makes it very obvious as she like cocks the whatever, some noisy gun related process that makes this dude realize she's there.
He starts sweating because he turns his head a little bit just to get a look, and he just sees this short, cute yet intimidating goblin in full freaking gear, decked out to the teeth like bandolier type shit, Rambo,
And very angry.
Very angry with large, sharp teeth. And this man has not really dealt with goblins before, and all he's heard is goblins like to do very horrible things to people.
Yeah, and she's about to.
Yeah. So he's sweating bullets. Like, he
So
was
you
already
know.
same of the rogue. Now he's scared of the goblin.
If she lets him have it, he'll be sweating bullets for sure.
Yeah.
I just just so you know, I'm the nice one. She's the mean
I'm
one.
not nice.
The man
Ari
is just
gives a
sweating
very
bullets.
toothy grin.
He
Very
is sweating,
toothy grin.
very much sweat just starts dripping. He's also sweating in multiple regions. It's making a lot of mess though.
Probably pissing
Did he
himself
just
right
sweat
now.
his pants?
Yeah, he sweat
Did
his
he
pants.
just sweat
Pissed his pants, didn't he?
Yeah, he sweat his pants. It kind of smells and it's a little bit scary. He's just kind of crying a little bit like a little bitch. He's like, I just was trying to do some work, man. I just heard that I get a couple silvers a day. That's good money. It's just some trees.
Good money, short life.
Press the bloody edge against his throat. If you know what's good for you, you'll take your employees, you'll leave this place, and you will never come back.
He looks at you and he goes, "Man, that's not how capitalism works. I may leave, but someone else is gonna come back."
Not for long.
Let him try.
Man, I just wanted to make some quick silver, some quick scratch, okay? I mean, I got a family. You got a family, right?
They have a family.
I
They.
had a family.
She points to the trees.
The man just sweats bullets when he hears Narza say, "I had a family." The man is sweating fucking bullets right now. Bro knows he's fucking cooked.
Quick little teensy bit of relevant backstory.
Yeah.
Because Lai and I have talked about, like, okay, where did Ari come from? All this different stuff. I just haven't typed it all up.
Yeah.
She can't have kids.
Aww.
So this is like doubly pissing her off. That someone would basically be going through there just
Murdering babies.
children.
tearing down, an entire grove of someone else's kids. So she is very malicious right now.
And as for hearing Narza say that he had a family,
Yeah, go on. Man, sweat bullets.
well, she probably heard me say that phrase and realized that I'm basically an orphan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The workers just crying, just pure self fucking pity.
Yeah, I
Now
pity the
I'm
fool.
going to ask you again. What do you know?
All I know, man, is that I was hired to chop some trees. I'm trying to specifically get some maples and some redwoods, but I heard that there's not a lot of redwoods in this area. I heard they're closer to the city. That's all I know. That's all I know. Is I was tasked with the squadron, or not squadron, these employees. I'm just middle management, man. I'm just middle management. I'm not supposed to be on the field. I was only supposed to be here for 3 hours.
Yeah. Well, you go free. You go back. Tell them here is protected. Anybody else cut trees here?
They go.
It rained
Bye-bye.
blood. It rained blood.
He's sweating and
Do
pissing
the-
his pants.
I do the scythe cut motion with the bloody edge, not touching my throat, but making it clear what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as you do that, he just nods and he says, I tell them, just don't come after me. I'll tell them what you told me. I'll quit. I'll even quit. I'll just work as a bartender or something. I'll do what Mom always said. Just be a bartender, sweetie. Don't do shady illegal shit. Why did I listen to Mom?
Smart mama.
Good.
So
I shove him away. Now go and tell the others.
Ari leans down and gives him a very toothy grin with her very pointy, sharp teeth and cuts the ropes that are hobbling him, but leaves his hands tied.
So you see the piss
Oh,
cover. Oh, yeah.
can I do one other thing before he runs out?
Yeah, you can do something. Yeah, what's up?
Could I slip a copper into his pocket?
Yeah, you can slip a copper in his pocket.
All right, that's it.
All right. He runs over to the encampment, just hobbling, and just completely pissed, soaked, just crying. He's like, "Guys, we're gonna leave. Okay, just leave the equipment. Just we're going home. Okay. We don't be here anymore. At least I'm not here anymore." And just starts fucking leaving. Like a couple of the workers kind
I'm
of
gonna do
follow
something
suit.
like as he gets back to them.
Yeah. What's up?
I want to set off the biggest and noisiest firecracker I have. Just as a little heads up to them.
Yeah. As he goes in, he's like, "Guys, we just gotta go leave the equipment." And a couple of them start to follow. A couple of the other workers are like, "Man, fuck that shit, man. What the fuck are you on? Why are you all hogtied and pissed up, bro? What the fuck? Man, I'm getting like 3 silvers a day. That shit's good money." And then he just hears a firecracker and he's like, "And I'm gonna go home. That sounds nice."
So when that firecracker goes off, because I wasn't there when they're interrogating him,
Yeah.
I assume that's the signal to start. And I start lighting the tents on fire with the flasks of oil that I had out, and I start chucking
Yes.
grenades at people. And whoever's the closest person to me is just getting full on bollywopped. Like they're gonna get shit on.
So, yeah, you're just able to pull out your sickle and just like slit a dude's throat if you want, just casually, like
Yeah, like she sets the firecracker off. I'm like, go time, pull the sickle out first, dude. I just fucking pretty much cut his head clean off. And
Bro,
then I just pull a
yes.
couple grenades and start chucking them into tents. Like, I had no clue that you guys were letting this guy go, and I just fucking start massacring.
So, fortunately,
Make
only
the
about
fuckers run.
3. Fortunately, only about 5 of like 25 workers get out of the hellfire. Lots
good
of
with that.
explosions,
That's enough to
lots
spread
of
the word.
screaming. And the guy who was instantly running, piss covered, is getting the fuck out of there. The other worker who's like, "Man, fuck that shit, I'm getting the fuck out," got out perfectly fine. And a couple of the other dudes who just kind of signed up day one were like, "Nope, fuck that shit, I'm leaving." So yeah, they're all just hobbling down a road back to a town, like a little outpost town to leave and get the fuck out.
Good.
I'm just gonna call
riddance.
the guy Jeremy. The guy you interrogated is just gonna be called named Jeremy. Interrogated piss boy.
Sounds like a Jeremy.
Yeah, I don't know. I might use him later. I don't have anything specifically planned with Jeremy, but I'm naming him just in case. Jeremy is now a potential side character. Yeah. So y'all scared the piss out of Jeremy, and all their equipment's fucking cooked. Ari, if you'd like to try to scavenge through some of the stuff when the fire goes down, would you like to?
Sure.
All right. You're able to just
I'm
get
sure
some...
the chainsaws have at least some parts that survive the fire.
Yeah. The chainsaws have like, little kind of magic engines, little trinkets and knickknack parts that you're able to kind of salvage. So just say like, you got
I'm
a
a
couple...
goblin. I'll salvage all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, you get a good couple
Right.
pounds of iron, some
Because
steel.
shiny parts mean new things to make.
100%.
New toys.
So you're salvaging all this shit, and you're just like, man, this is some garbage. Like this shit's like.
Oh, also, I totally want to offer Narza a little fist bump and tell him, good scary.
I fist bump her back.
The hell yeah. So, as you guys are kind of wrapping up, you guys get some stuff. I'd say you get some just basic magical kind of engine components. It's basically rune stones. That's kind of how I kind of define machinery in this. This is like a mixture between magic and normal physics and like steampunk. So you can just get a bunch of basic parts. You don't find anything too specific, but it's more just kind of funny that you're looking through this like, man, I remember building this shit back, when I was like a kid. What the fuck? What is this garbage? There's so many better models now. It's like finding a John
What
Deere
about-
from like freaking like the 80s. Like what the fuck?
What about the temple?
What temple?
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
You're mentioning some kind of. I thought you were mentioning some kind of temple
Oh.
around the area, or
oh no,
Template.
template. I was saying
Oh,
template
okay.
and like type shit, like stuff like from like a long time ago. So like Ari's picking through these parts, like man, this is like some old Cadillac.
No. Before that, around the grove or something.
Oh, I don't remember. I don't think there's anything specifically about a temple.
Okay,
if
okay.
anything,
Just wanted to make sure.
yeah, no problem. So yeah, you're able to just get some basic parts together. You can just write down that you have like some old school parts and some knickknacks in your bag of holding. You're kind of not sure if the stuff's gonna kind of come with you, but you're just kind of crossing your fingers like, please let me keep shiny, please let me keep shiny.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys kind of head back to the the grove spot, to the kind of sanctuary, and Udabras is just kind of smiling next to Trad and Trisha, and little Maple's there, or Mabel the Maple is there, and he saw a little bit of that stuff. He saw a lot of the stuff from a distance, the clear cut trees, and he looks a little sad, but with an odd smile, he says, "Oh, that's the cycle of life, isn't it?" Just kind of with a little bit of sap going down his cheek. Clearly upset, but trying to look at it in a positive way, that, things happen, but life moves forward. And as he says that, you guys kind of get that feeling that, stuff's watching you, like last time, before getting kind of flung back into your bodies as the trial ends. And each of you except McKean get a little third little marker on their hands, and it looks like an autumn leaf for all of you this time. And the specific type of leaf is a maple leaf. Now, one last thing. As you guys wake up, y'all are relatively sober for once this time. You guys are kind of used to this. You notice,
Except me.
You notice the area you're in. It hasn't really passed more than about a day or two, which is about the time frame of what happened in the past. So, even though there's like the year time skips, like the time of day never really specifically changed, if that makes sense. So the day-night cycle was the same and like equal parallel. That's why Udabras was saying, around this time is when you need to do it, versus, the other times where it didn't matter as much. But you also notice that, you were in the same location. And as you kind of look up, you notice that trail up to the mountain, kind of in that full fall bloom, back to where the sanctuary was. Would you guys like to go up the sanctuary path?
Yes.
So,
That's actually.
as you guys go up the sanctuary path, you notice a lot of the trees are the same trees that you just saw. A lot of them are far older, another 50, 60, 80 years. I'm gonna have to retweak some of the timeline shit, so do not take these exact hour marking numbers as 100%. I do need to kind of fix this, so just a heads up, minor retcons on the exact timeline. I'm just saying that. Point is, the events happen the way they did. As you guys get up to the sanctuary, you guys see all three of them. You see Trad, Trisha, and of course, Little Maple, nice and grown up. And you notice, though, with Trad and Trisha, they appear to be starting to root into the ground. So they're nearing the ends of their life at this point. But they look happy. They look content with their lives as little Maple got to grow up, having a happy, loving family. And they all kind of turn to you guys, and oddly enough, they remember you. Which wouldn't make sense if it's just a memory. So, just food for thought as they just kind of
We
turn to you
actually
guys.
time travel? We actually time travel into the past?
To an extent, perhaps. To an extent, perhaps. All you guys know is that little Maple turns around and just smiles and sees Jin, and sees Narsa, and sees Arya, who looked after him, sees Makeem, who just kind of, helped and chilled, and of course sees Torden, who, helped the small goblin help him out. And of course, Jin, being like the godfather, just kind of smiles and says, "It's been a long time, guys." And just kind of waves at you with his branch. Kind of a full-grown branch now.
And I walk up and just give him a hug.
He gives you a very sappy hug. Lot of tree sap kind of flowing down his face. Very masculinely, though. Very masculinely. True Chad energy, okay? His father is literally named after Chad, so he's a Chad. Okay? His name is Mabel the Maple Chaddington. Or some shit, I don't know. As well as if you guys look behind him in the sanctuary, that entire area that was clear-cut, there's a bunch of new saplings growing there. A lot of new saplings, and a couple old ones of trees that have passed in that time span, taking root and renewing the grove for the next generation of life. And everyone just kind of is smiling at you guys and is just really happy. And when you guys look at your little tattoos on your hands, you see it kind of like glow a little bit as you guys look at the map. And you also see kind of like a pseudo compass kind of forge on your hand that appears to lead you to next session, Narza's main city. So next session we're gonna be going to the I have it written down, but my cursor's all fucked up. I'd click it and say the name out loud. My cursor's fucked up, so I haven't been able to see it for like the past 35 minutes. So I'm gonna have to restart my computer. I know I ran this as a really scuffed session at first. I had to sit down when I had to use the bathroom. I used that time to scribble down. I'm like, okay, I need to rewrite. I need to fix this. All that shit got really scuffed in my head. So I appreciate you guys.
Dude, I liked it.
I had a lot.
got scary.
I was really excited with that part. That was really fun. I fucking loved.
I mean,
Narza
Ari
being able to
found
do that.
ammo. I'm happy.
Yeah, I was.
Because that guy was sweating bullets for her. It was nice.
Yeah. And we have a potential side character, Jeremy. So he's probably. I'm probably gonna work Jeremy in. I don't know. I might not.
Not only that, like
Swan, right?
we made the dude sweat his pants and also like set Jin off on their little logging operation.
Yeah, you see a lot of.
Was cool.
You do real quick though, or you do see that all your stuff is still in your bag that time at least. So all those little parts that you scavenged. Oddly enough, none of them came back to go reclaim the equipment. Some might say it was just burned. They don't really know, but all those little freaking knickknacks you can just see from a distance. Tons of torn down camp supplies. Tons of torn down camp supplies, and it's all slowly getting moss grown over. So you got all those little knickknacks.
I'm gonna grab my minions, and we're gonna
And
go
one
scavenge.
decapitated skeleton.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. No, you easily got like 3 or 4 of them in the hellfire. You're just like butchering them alive as they're screaming on fire, and you're just like grinning as Whiskey's like, "One more elf, one more elf, one more elf," just like chanting
Yep,
the
me
entire
and the
time.
minions go and scavenge all the little shinies. All the shinies. Yay.
So Yeah,
was
what's up?
gonna ask Raven. You know why I put a coin in that guy's pocket, right?
Was it so that you could pull an Island 1 scenario? If I could get my cursor to work, I would love that.
Locate object.
Oh, hell yeah, that's smart. Yo, shit, wait a minute. Shit, I think Jeremy might have to make a return. I think Jeremy's making a return maybe next session. Maybe not next session.
All right.
I have a feeling Jeremy might
Hon,
have
I
lost
need a
his
hand
pants.
down here with the shelf.
All right, guys.
Okay. Well,
I am going to end
I
the
look forward to seeing Ron on the next